we're good.
Bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. This is episode 381. Round of applause. We got an absolute massive one today. The boys, Sean McVay, we got ourselves a nice little flight, went over to LA. If you love to get motivated, you're going to love the first 20 minutes of his episode. If you love hearing about ball and tension, learning, adversity, peaks and valleys, you're going to love this entire episode.
I feel like it was more about every other word you said other than football.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, football catapults all the conversations,
Right.
but this McVay interview, I don't want to be emotional. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment.
Don't do it.
But I'm feeling Rushmore, one of our best. That's how I feel about this episode.
This is a Heisman candidate for you.
Yeah.
This is a Heisman candidate. And the last time we had this feeling.
Of the Heisman?
Yeah.
This is a
Sorsby callback.
Oh, I was thinking Mendoza. Because we saw
Yeah.
Mendoza at the EA event
True,
over the weekend.
The EA event.
We get to dive into
That's right.
the EA event. Jared, our boy, our producer, he did a one-on-one. Got absolutely.
Okay, but hey, don't spoil
That's
it.
all right,
Don't
take
spoil
away
it.
from that.
The vlog will
Don't
come
spoil
out. The vlog will come out.
Yeah.
Jared also did some rehab that day, we'll say. He also did some rehab that day. Got to meet 41 players at the rookie premiere. Got to sit down with each and every single one of them. Got to reveal their ratings. It was a hell of a weekend for Bussin' with the Boys. But Willie, why? Who's the presenting sponsor of Bussin' with the Boys?
Only the number one sports
How about
book
that
in
transition?
America.
How about that? That's why I'm a pro, dude.
Only the number one sports book in America. The FanDuel Sportsbook, to all the baseball fans rolling with us. If you're listening to this on a Tuesday, you're in luck because big hits get even bigger with Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel. Customers choose their own reward every Tuesday to use on home run bets. So how
will your play go?
There's a little.
You got one option.
There's a little juice sitting in the back, like
Oh,
at
no.
the back of my tongue, like at the start of the throat, so it was kind of tickling
Little
me
tickle
a
you?
little bit. Yeah.
It was like, you're gonna cough.
Yeah,
You're gonna
yeah.
cough. You thought you could fight all the way through it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all right. But hey, tell them about the bet reset.
The bet reset. So here's what you got. You've got one option, the bet reset. You can use this on your wager and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses. But you've also got option 2.
Oh.
Not 10, not 20, but a 50% profit boost. Make your bet, activate the profit boost, and if it hits, that's extra winnings at no extra cost.
My
Make
God.
your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next home run bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/bussin to choose your reward for home run bets every Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the home for home runs on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB.
We got there, and that's why they call us the best in the business.
Yes, sir.
Because there's never a hiccup.
That's why they had us out there in LA.
Right. They're like, these guys,
Revealing ratings
they
to the
don't they don't
boys.
ever miss.
Yeah.
We might as well just let them go in
Yeah,
and do their
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Boys, where do we want to? Do we probably should start with the weekend, right? Or we should start with callbacks? Like, let's leave it up. It's an open forum here.
We had some fun callbacks. Let's hit some
Let's
callbacks
hit some
from people
callbacks.
who commented on the
Callbacks.
episode last week. A lot of Delaney love in the comments. Here's one for us from NJD609. Tell Delaney make his own podcast under the Bussin' tree. Dude is hilarious. Always kills when he's on. That's got 42 likes. 28
42,000
C
likes.
Dog said facts.
I'll be honest with you. Delaney Walker and a camera on him at all times is never a bad idea.
Never a bad idea.
And he checks so many boxes for us.
Delaney, well, we were obviously talking about
What does that mean?
What are those boxes? Humor,
Yep.
intelligence, former NFL player, work ethic, cultured. What am I missing?
speed, genetics.
True athleticism. Yep. Real genetics. Pure blood. What were you thinking? What were you thinking?
No, you hit all of them.
Okay,
That's
I'm just making. Is there anything I missed?
Swagger, you mean swagger?
Swagger.
He
I
does have the
believe it's
juice.
Aura or Riz now, but I'm 34. What do I know?
He's 40.
What do I know?
He's got the juice. Oh wait, listen, we got to get the vlog series going with him.
Yeah.
The Delaney Does vlog series.
Yeah. Mitchie boy did a great job. on the motocross one with Delaney. People seem
Lot
to
of fun.
really enjoy that.
Delaney's also like, he could be one of them in real life. What is it, IRL streamers.
Yeah.
I feel like Delaney could easily do
We had
that.
a couple conversations about that this weekend, the boys. It just seems like it's a scary world to get into.
It's a
Yeah.
risky.
It's a risky world. All you need is one wrong person to walk by you. Say the wrong thing. You have one wrong response.
That's it.
And game over, buddy.
There's
Not
no,
for Delaney, though.
There's no cut that. There's none of that in IRL.
Yeah. And for those who are looking at the callbacks, being like, Delaney, when was Delaney? I thought the last week. I was not here last week. I was on vacation with my beautiful family. Delaney sat in my chair. And buddy, anytime Delaney sits in my chair, I think, how much longer do I have my job? That's how good Delaney is. That's what I think to myself. Here's another one from Rich_LMN. Oh shit! Is the Bussin Bowl trophy going to be in the game? Now, Rich is referring to our recent connection with EA. We went out for LA. We'll break all of that down. And I don't know why our team didn't think about it, but Rich definitely thought about it. We've got to have the Bussin Bowl in the college football game. No?
Have to.
Have to.
I think you're right, and you might be questioning the team. However, we were doing Madden out there.
We were doing Madden.
We were doing Madden out
Right.
there. So it just wasn't floating in the old brain.
Yeah, same company, different branch.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
anytime someone brings up college football, video games, I like to assume our brains would immediately go to how do we benefit ourselves, and it's Bussin Bowl.
Yeah.
More to
Club's
come.
got a guy, though.
Yeah, more to come. We got the guys Ross, Bradley, and what's his name? I'm gonna
call him D.
Dirk
Dave.
Bentley?
Dave. What was his name?
Just call him D.
He was the Husker. I feel bad. I forget his name.
Oh,
now.
David. Yeah, David. He
Yeah,
had the
Dave.
beard. He had like the puppy eyes.
But maybe more to come with us at the EA Sports. So I think that's one thing we can ask for. That's
Yeah,
a nice little,
Dave sat in the corner.
Dave was
most
the
of the time.
man.
Anytime I
feel
felt like
so
I was
bad
kind
I
of getting
gotta say his
scrambled a
name
little
right
bit,
now.
I looked at him and he had those like Doberman eyes.
Dude,
You
he
know,
was
he
the
looks. He's a little bit. I was like,
And
oh,
then
I
he'd
feel
just come over and
safer.
say, hey, don't worry about what they're saying. Just
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
doing you
I'm like,
guys.
what are they
Just
saying?
keep
He
doing
said,
you.
I just said, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
You're all
yeah.
good. If we're going to just brainstorm that callback real quick, I just have a quick thought. I want to know what you guys think right after. EA, you go and you play your game. You and your boy play against each other. Hey, you're going to pick Michigan. I'll pick Nebraska. We play the game. Immediately, maybe it's Will Compton and Taylor Warren commentating the game, talking about the Bussin Bowl. And it only happens, it's like a little hack takes place.
That's
like
a
a
lot
little
of work.
Easter egg where when Michigan and
Yeah, do
Nebraska
some
play,
voiceovers.
A lot
all of a
of
sudden it's
voiceovers.
Will Compton and Taylor Warren doing play-by-plays for that specific game.
Or it's just you two on the sideline. That might be easier.
Yeah.
Or like when they're just, say Nebraska's coming out of the tunnel. It's just me on the side of the tunnel. Just,
Yeah.
Just
Or-
somewhere.
You just on the big screen doing your pregame speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's just all the players are 77
Yeah,
and 51.
how they used to do it.
And they're all
Like
the
the mascot
exact
game.
same attributes.
Yep,
and
it's
it's like,
just
how
Will
can we
Compton
not
versus
just play
Taylor.
with, And there's a bunch of 77s versus a bunch of 51s.
That'd be awesome.
We are winning
Or
that
when I
game,
hit
boys.
was it Timmy the Trumpet?
Yeah.
Is it Timmy the Trumpet? When I
yeah.
was hitting the just trumpet in the
Yeah.
stands, you just got a little call over there to that
I
part
think
of the stadium.
the easiest thing in my head is just you two on the sideline, like you just doing this, and then maybe Taylor doing like the bow and arrow, just something.
Yeah.
Well, if
Something.
it's a Taylor versus Will game, it will be even according to Ty Simpson. because
Yeah.
y'all are both 85.
We'll get into it in a little bit, Jack. We'll
We'll
get
get
into it
into
in a little bit.
His name was
Shout out
Duds,
Ty
by the way.
Simpson.
Huh?
Dave Duds. That's the guy's name.
Shout out Dave Dudson.
And we'll get him to
Call
get
him
us
D.
in the game.
Call him D.
So yeah, if we want to do a Bussin Bowl thing, I would love for Kirk Herbstreit, his voiceover, to just be talking about the history, the pageantry that takes place with the Bussin Bowl, all of it.
Yeah.
During the game.
We got another call back here from Dalton. Due week. This would have been great right after the Delaney one we had a couple ago, but need a Delaney house tour now after this episode. Laughing cry face.
I'll tell you.
We
what,
agree. Anything with Delaney.
We got to go out to his property.
Right.
Yeah.
Have to.
MTV Cribs type of situation with Delaney.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind that one bit. Because I've seen a couple of the people that did his house.
That
It's in my
video's-
algorithm a couple of times.
The Barn Dominium?
The Barn Dominium.
It has
It
over like
goes-
1 million views.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't.
Close to it.
I think
You
he
talking about
does.
Delaney's?
You're right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those on the profile you're talking about, the Barn Dominium is
Sick.
Yeah.
it's like a move.
Yeah, it is kind of a move. And I
It's
love
like what
that
the kids are doing now.
his house is like 2,300 square feet, but his garage is like 15,000 square feet.
He's got to have a place for all those vehicles.
He has his priorities straight.
Yeah.
Delaney, I've told this story before on the podcast. When I was playing with him, you know how kids would have Pokemon books with the little sleeves where you put your Pokemon cards? He would have those for pink slips of how many cars he had. So that's kind of...
That's so
Dylan was, some of us are ripping packs now on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Others are buying cars and using those sleeves. More callbacks. Go ahead, Jake. Can you scroll past this one? There's another one. Okay, Ricky Sticky did it. Eli Manning saying boobies was not on my 2026 bingo card.
That was a funny moment.
It was nice.
It was a good moment.
There was one guy who made a comment about that in the pre-production meeting. Would he like to speak up?
Yeah, I mean, you guys made fun of me for saying it a couple years ago, but now Eli Manning's saying it. So, but
Well,
you guys saying, hey, that's cool.
It's all
cool.
context. We were hanging out late watching. I want to say we were watching hype speeches,
We
right?
were
Like
at
locker
Notre
room
Dame.
speeches.
Yeah.
Where were we? And was I even there?
No, I
You
don't
were
think
not
Okay,
there.
I
You
thought
were in
so, yeah.
season. You were in season.
Oh, your boy was
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing football.
Yeah.
All right.
And we were at
Boy was
Notre
chasing
Dame.
legacy.
Yeah, we were at Notre Dame. I think Clemson at Notre Dame. That's when
Yeah.
the storming of the field happened.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with saying it.
Now that
You-
Eli-
you
now
You were
that
talking
Eli
about you
Manning
brought
said
up
it, I
we're watching
agree.
montages
We were
like locker
talking
room
about
talks, and you're like,
we were talking about movies where we saw like our first pair of boobs, and I was like, hey, that movie had some bunch of boobies in it.
yeah, I want to say you was talking about like a booby montage.
I don't know about that part.
When you said boobies, it just the way it landed in that moment around the boys late at night.
like that.
It just tickled our stomach.
Comedic timing.
Yeah,
You're a funny boy, Mitch.
yeah, yeah.
Sounds like all right, Jack. You can scroll up to. You can scroll.
Did
back.
you want to revisit what we just scrolled past callback wise? Well, just for the people at home, it says
No,
props to Matt.
wait for a second.
Okay,
Is there any more we have
my
left
bad.
for
All right,
callbacks?
if there's a plan in place, let's just keep it moving.
I don't see any more.
That's
Seems
the
No,
like-
that's the last
callback.
one. So we
seems
probably
like
should talk about
one
it.
more.
So do we have to talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's talk about it.
I want Jack to read it.
It
Go ahead,
says-
Jack.
It says props to Matt. For
Shout out
Shout
the
out.
user.
Oh yes, Tony Rod 5,000. Thank you, Tony. Props to Matt for conquering that trip for the car. Now we got to get Jack his truck.
Good comment.
And for
Good
anyone
comment.
just now tuning in as a recent fan, I went 728 days tweeting a photo of Rich Eisen in pursuit of a Chevy Silverado. I unfortunately missed 23 days. You can go back, listen to that stuff. There's a lot of heartbreak.
Dig in on the Rich Eisen app.
At least I got on TV with Rich Eisen. He still doesn't follow me back on Twitter, but like that's for another day.
That's Rich though, man.
That's
he just
Rich.
always playing 4D chess on people.
Rich Eisen show though does follow me on Twitter, so at least
Yeah,
half and
it
half.
balances out a
Is
little
there going to
bit.
be a conversation had?
For Jack getting his truck.
Am I missing something here?
About what?
I don't know. I just
Do you?
No,
So
I think
Is
there
Jack
should be a
missing something?
conversation for you. To
I
get
don't
your
know.
truck.
Am I missing something?
I don't know, Jack. Do we want to pause the podcast so we can go outside real quick?
Shut up.
What? What am I missing? Now I
Well,
feel
no,
like I'm
yeah,
missing
no,
Don't
something.
be-
Are you? Do you want to go outside? And
This isn't a thing. This isn't a thing.
You're right. It's not a thing. Do you want to make another bet?
I mean, sure. I'm
I'm
always
gonna give
down
in
for a
mood,
bet.
man. I'm gonna give in mood. I just saw Matt. He
Yeah, I
did
mean,
a bunch
I'd
of
love
stuff
a
for
bet.
us.
Can you give us what we're missing?
Yeah,
But
we
I was,
Yeah,
joking,
conversation?
Jack was on it. He figured out. I was making a joke that we can go outside because your truck's waiting for you out there. But it's clear there's no truck out there.
There is no truck.
I did
Oh,
not
that's
get
mean.
that even
Unless it's
1%.
your truck.
Well, my truck's out there.
I thought you wanted to fight him outside. I was like, what's going on?
Jack, you
Guys, go ahead.
I love how Jack was the only one that was like, no, Taylor.
No, I
we're
picked
not
up
doing
on
that.
it. I don't know what the bet would be. I do not want it to be tweeting a photo every day. I think that one's a little played out, a little washed.
Okay.
And after 2 years, you start hating Google image searches, and I'm just now getting back to where I enjoy searching
Right.
for photos.
You're like
online.
Matt and Steak right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Maybe the comments
Yeah,
could give us a good
throw a
idea.
bet in there.
Great.
Oh,
And dude, I'll tell you this. So, just myself personally, I've been working with a company, Lifted Trucks. They're the ones that gave me the truck that I have right now. Incredible company. They all like you have your stock vehicles. They take those stock vehicles, make them custom, and then you can buy them custom right there. I think it'd be awesome to do something with Lifted Trucks and you.
That would be awesome.
That would be
But
sick.
you'd have to. I mean, those trucks are. We're not
Right,
talking about
I mean,
a $10,000
that's a
whatever
nice
Chevy
vehicle.
Equinox or whatever that we bought for Matt. What did we buy for Matt?
E
VW EOS?
2014 Volkswagen convertible.
Yeah,
Jack's got a following now. He could put out some. He could put out some.
Jack's
tweets
got himself a little army, is what he's
so,
got.
I mean,
We're small but mighty.
That's I had a conversation with somebody last night. You'd rather have a small army that's willing to die for you than a big army that'll turn in the first time.
We
of
all know what the
adversity.
Spartans did.
We all
know.
exactly. They fucking died.
At the hot gates.
Yeah, but
got
hey,
to
but
the hot
a hell of a fight,
But they fought.
buddy. When that movie came out, I know we talked about this already, but talk about getting your piss hot.
I can
A 15-year-old
imagine-
Taylor.
I was gonna say I can imagine Will Compton literally just after seeing that, just going home and looking in the mirror and going, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. There a lot of YouTube videos were watched on just 300 training.
Yep. Yes. Oh, look at so and so did to get their 6-pack for $300. You're like, I
Yeah.
guess this is what I'm doing now.
Outside of CGI.
Right. And I didn't even know CGI was a real thing.
Yeah, man.
I was like, these guys really just look like that. But yeah, comments, let us know what should Jack do. I'll get on the horn with lifted trucks. Be like, are you guys even interested in doing this? And we'll just see what they say.
And I'm willing to go the mile, but let's not get nasty. Let's not do something gross.
Comments could have good ideas for us.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
They
Get
could lead
nasty.
to
Who
ideas.
cares?
They could lead to
no
ideas.
bad ideas in a brainstorm.
It's
Yeah.
probably the worst thing.
No
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
ideas
yeah,
in the
exactly.
comment section.
We could have left that alone and be a better setup than what we have now.
Yeah, but we're in it for the content.
No bad
Yeah.
ideas in the comment section.
Next week, the entire callbacks, we can just do that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All the callbacks next week will take place on what That's a clean take, Jared.
Clean take.
Yeah, shout out Kevin's Natural Foods. That's a clean take of next week's episode.
Dude, I love Kevin's Natural Foods. That
Do
is
you?
a clean take. Yeah, that's a clean take. Another clean take, escape rooms rip.
I'll take your word for it.
Was it just y'all two that
Rip.
did it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we
just
paid
us.
the private fee for just Will and I to be.
We got
us
done
two.
eating. I guess you could say brunch. We wanted to go to a breakfast spot. Got a latte in our system. It was what 12:48, and we were looking at escape rooms. I was like, "Yo, you want to go hit this escape room? It's by our hotel." Raving reviews. What is it? Panic. PANIQ.
Yes.
Oh, shout out. We're
No
shouting
free
them
shout
out.
out.
No free shout outs,
shout-outs.
but we're shout outing.
But a phenomenal escape room business.
Where was everybody else?
They
where-
flew to Vegas.
Vegas.
And
They
y'all
were trying
two-
to make their flight to Vegas.
And you guys just stayed in LA?
Yeah, we stayed in LA. We stayed back in LA because we had a dinner. We had an uppity dinner we went to on Friday night.
Exclusive dinner.
An exclusive dinner.
Invite only type of dinner only happens once a year.
How was the dynamic between y'all two?
In the escape room,
Yeah.
it was phenomenal.
I mean, we were operating.
Has anyone seen the videos that Will posted? I mean, if you weren't sold on escape rooms,
Were they only on your story? I think they were only stories.
Yeah,
I was trying to
yeah.
find them. Are you guys also a part of a very small group of people that two humans did back-to-back escape rooms in the same
We
day?
might be because we bought an escape room and then I got it private so we wouldn't do it with because it's anywhere from 2 to 10 people in the room. And so Clump was like, "Yo, we should just get over there right now. I'll get an Uber and we'll hit the 1 o'clock one." We do the escape room. That one was Insane Asylum. Scary, by the way. We had a couple
Super
frights.
scary.
Couple frights. We got done. We also included in our package that we bought unlimited arcade play. But the arcade, I will say, subpar. Wasn't like the most fun. There's like just a few games.
That's a nice way to put it. Subpar.
And we got
Especially
done.
after the conversation we had the night before about all the games we used to play. So you guys are in game mode.
Yeah.
It was more like
we
the
were in
paintball
game
game.
mode.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm picking up when I'm putting down.
But it
the
wasn't
card.
like a dedicated room where it's a bunch of arcades. It's kind of there's like maybe 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Like around their nice little like bar area. Clump and I were the only people in there. And when we got done with one arcade game, I was like, "Yo, should we just do another escape room?" Like, because it was only It was only 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because
or
we finished
2:30.
it within the hour.
Yeah.
The first one. We bodied
And
it.
so we went back up to the lady and I was like, "Hey, could I trouble you? Could we just get in another escape room? Could we just get another one right now?" And she's like, "We'd be happy to." They had like 5 staff members there and they were just catering to us. And we're like,
all
"Which one would you
inclusive.
choose?"
Yeah,
Because
you
there's like Casino Heist, Insane Asylum, Superhero,
There's something else.
like Area 501.
But wasn't there a zombie one? That's
Yeah,
Apocalypse. That
Zombie
was
Apocalypse.
Okay.
We're like, which one would you guys recommend? They said, "Oh, the Zombie Apocalypse one's a lot of fun." So then we got into the Zombie Apocalypse and beat that one.
That
Were
kind
you
of
guys
juiced
the
me
only
out.
two at the escape room?
We were the only two in there on a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Friday early
And
afternoon.
dude, they were so official. They had like earpieces. We're like,
yeah.
they're moving to Insane Asylum now, and I'm like, oh shit.
We like get in the
this place
elevator, go up.
Yeah.
You got these long hallways.
So the place
feels
was
scary.
The place was empty, but did you have to buy 10 spots to make it private?
No. You just
like
buy
a
per
fee.
person.
Yeah.
And you can like
Oh,
check a
okay.
box, like, play with others or private.
I thought you were like we had to buy out the room.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
yeah,
no.
no, they were
You
probably
pay, like, a
over the
private
moon.
fee.
What is the average amount of time it takes to get out of one of these escape rooms?
60 minutes. Or they give you 60 or 90. I want to say there's like 2 slots.
How fast did you guys do 60 minutes or 90 minutes?
We did 60.
And how fast did you guys get out of it? Did you guys have time to spare? Or like
54 or 56 minutes the first one. We had 4 minutes left.
You guys
We solved
Indiana
it.
Jones that thing, huh?
And then
you grabbed the hat right
second
before
one
the
was
wall
only
closed.
3 minutes left.
Yeah, second one was, I thought the first one we had like over 10 minutes left.
No, I think it was 4.
Either
I could be
way.
wrong, but it was.
And they kind of give you hints along the way. Like we're in there and we're kind of like stuck. They're like, somebody will come over the intercom and not like tell us what to do, but they'll like give you a hint to
No, like,
Look under
kind
your
of-
shoe.
to
kinda
focus.
like-
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of
23.
crazy that you picked up that medicine bottle and didn't read the name on it. It's like, oh shit, okay.
But I will say, when you got the medicine bottles and put them in the electric chair, I was like, "Oh shit, you
That was-
are."
I
on
was
a different
operating.
level right
That
now.
was actually genius.
Yeah, that was.
Columbus, you just say the move you made was genius?
No, it was It was genius.
He had a couple genius moves.
So,
Shout out- shout
so
out
like
me.
there was the electric chair. I took the medicine bottles and put it in like someone was strapped in it, and then it went off like someone was in it. It worked.
That's one he can shout out himself. Like it was.
Oh, is that good, huh?
Yeah, he had a brilliant.
Who was the
move.
MVP between y'all two?
I would say Clump.
Nah, it was a team effort, man. You know why I gotta always put a.
I'm
That's,
just wondering.
Like,
that's how MVPs talk,
Good
though.
question.
Yeah.
That's
It was
how
a, it was
MVPs
a
I would
talk.
say
team
Clump.
effort. It was so much fun.
Like I had a
Will
few
was
good
very
ones
good
in
at,
the
like, the brain
zombie.
games
Yeah, in the
and
zombie
the-
one.
Like using the little thing to pick up the keys, you were great at the hooks.
Yeah. But as far as like, especially in the insane asylum, when we had to get to the next room or figure out like a big breakthrough, I feel like it was Clump.
It'd be fun for all of us to go.
No,
do
we-
one.
We got to do
have
a team building. They got
There's
There's
several
one
here
here.
around.
Yeah,
in
there's one
Nashville.
here.
I wonder if they have big ones where you could do like 20 plus people, and it's
How
super fun.
big was the building you guys were in?
It was huge. Like
Big
Yeah.
building,
Yeah, it was-
but all the rooms are kind of like tight. Like you start in like like a straight jacket room
Yep.
in the insane asylum. Then you got to make it to the next room where it's like medicine. There's a bed there that's ran down. Then they have a third room, but it's fun. We definitely need to do some team
designed
building.
very well. It was cool. Like everything was fun.
I did one here. I forget which one it was in Nashville, but when we were on the Titans, like the linebackers did an escape
Yeah, I remember
room
y'all
one
did
night.
something like that. That is, yeah, I'm down. It sounds like a
just
clean
wanted to
take.
mulch.
I would love to co-sign the clean take, but I don't want to disrespect the clean take by saying yes, but then I haven't done it yet. I need to go do one.
Yeah, it's
I
just
like
a
to
lot
go do
of
one with
fun.
all of us.
It's like
And-
solving problems,
Yeah.
solving mysteries, riddles.
I have a
What
clean
about the
take.
micro macro?
Yeah, micro macro.
I have a clean take. If you are about to gamble and somebody's like, "This is my lucky rock. I've never lost with it," you accept the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, clean take.
Clean
take.
Clean take. Now, while these gentlemen were doing escape games, incredible time, and going to exclusive dinners, the three of us in the back here, Jackie, Jared, and myself, we went to Vegas. We caught ourselves a nice little Southwest flight right after the McVay interview. We go, we lamb. Here's where the fear kind of sets in for me, because a lot of times in the power slap or, anytime we're in Vegas, clearly we're going to gamble. And sometimes it takes 20 minutes. Sometimes it takes 1 minute. Sometimes it takes 8 hours to achieve the goal we want to achieve, which is beating the casino and gambling. We know that we have to get back for the rookie premiere that starts at 7 a.m. the next day. So we have a flight that is booked for us at 12:30 p.m. or 12:30 a.m. We get there. Jack and I make a aggressive game plan. Jack, the game plan was?
Hit the weight room, get a little sweat in, sauna, cold tub, quick dinner, immediately to power slap.
And we
We
had
had about 2 hours.
about 2 hours to get that done. We set our timers for 45 minutes. Got myself my zone 2 cardio in and a 15-minute hard workout. Didn't stop one bit. Jack didn't either. Go upstairs, immediately sauna. Get in the cold tub. Dinner is what Jared.
Where was Jared during the
Jared
workout?
was making
took
sure that no one robbed the room.
Yeah.
Jared was
Jared
making
had,
sure
to
the room was
Jared
safe.
had to receive the food that we
Yes,
ordered.
I had to make sure the food got there.
Yeah. And
You're there for
literally,
operation.
Jared was begging us, let me come with. I'm like, dude, you drew the short stick. You can't come with us. So
We
Jared
need
took one
someone
for the
to stay
team.
back.
Clean take. Jared Beeman, team guy.
Team guy.
guy.
Team guy.
guy.
Team
Team
guy.
I said, I'll sit here.
Yeah.
I just laid on the couch for an hour during this. Whatever.
So we go to Power Slap. Boys are hanging out a little bit. Wouldn't you know it, the GOAT is there, Travis Pastrana. Look at him from a distance. Jack and I made a little video of us watching his double backflip that pans right to him. And it's like, dude, this guy was so instrumental in my development as a young child. Go up to him, shake his hand. Hey, I want nothing from you other than just you to know that I fucking love you. And everything you did for me that you don't even know what you did. You know what he told me? Hey man, thanks. Could not give two shits about me telling him how much I love him. Now, do I take that as disrespect? No. I take that as my goat's probably tired for being loved on all day, every day for his whole entire life. And for that, I just kind of backed up and I was like, yo, you're the man. We'll see you later.
A very professional interaction by you. You kept it minimal. You said what you needed to say, and then you let him be.
You know what? And
Keep
that-
it moving.
Buddy,
Kept it
and
moving.
that was a learned trait. Because at one point I'm at UFC with my boy Willie, Johnny Knoxville sitting right in front of me, and I missed the opportunity to even say hello to him because I felt uncomfortable. There was a piece of me that's like, I kind of want to be boys with him, but I don't know what to say. This whole thing, he's with his girlfriend, whoever it is. So I'll never let that happen again. So shout out Travis Pastrana. He was incredible. We see this guy who is like, I got $200 to my name. I come here. His goal in life is to be Power Slap champion one day.
That's a big goal.
Massive goal to be the champion of the world.
Of course.
He's like, I would love to do a hand with you gambling. And I was like, yeah, dude, we'll be at the after party like right before we start to gamble with Dana. Like we can do a hand with you, no problem. Power slap finishes. I go up to Trey, Dana's boy. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we just come in the back with you? And then we'll roll down. He's like, it's at Park MGM. So now we're kind of scrambling. We got to get to this other casino. I'm a little nervous. I know I'm playing an away game, but now it's like a double away game. I'm just not in I'm not in a good headspace for it. We get there. First guy, once we get in the room, who's standing there? The guy who wants to be Power Slap champion. And he's just holding his $200, smiling, hoping to God we can bless his night. Get the credit line set up. We sit down. I'm like, hey, you want to do all of it at once? You want to do a little half and half? And he's like, we'll do half and half. I put down $2,000. He puts down his $100. The player, we bet player, correct?
Correct.
We bet player. Banker gets a natural 8. So I'm like, we're done. We're cooked. We get natural 9. Slap it down. Give the guy my $2,000 and his $100 back. Hey, congratulations. Shake his hand. He is, welting up with tears essentially.
I will say we knew exactly the character he demonstrated because he had a boy with him, and he thought he was gonna get maybe $500 from Taylor. He gets $2,000, and his
Says it
boy's
changed his life.
And his boy goes, "Yo, let me get some of that," like a joking, and without even flinching, this guy takes half of his winnings, doesn't even look at his boy, and hands him a $1,000 chip. That guy, good friend.
Good friend.
That's a good
guy. I say his words, took half of his net worth and handed it to his boy. So we're hanging out. By the way, shout out Park MGM. Their setup they have with all the cameras and everything. They have this
Miss
going on with
Vicky,
Dana. Miss Vicky.
What's our boy from the Bronx?
But
Vinny or something?
Vinny, it had to be Vinny from the Bronx. I feel like we're disrespecting him because it's not really Vinny, but it was Vinny from the Bronx.
Good dude regardless.
Good crew nonetheless. We know we have a crunch time. Dana pulls up. The first thing we do, we rip a Rolex with Dana on the Courtyard app.
Shout out Courtyard.
Shout out Courtyard. His son was there. That was awesome. And then the game begins. The line, that's packed room.
Lucky Rock.
Oh my God, you're right. Thank you, Jared. So after we play with that guy, some dude comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I want you to know, like, this is my lucky rock. Every time I've ever gambled with this rock, I've never lost." And he hands me the rock. He's like, "I want you to have this rock." And I say thank you to his face. Internally, all of a sudden, I'm incredibly superstitious, thinking to myself, if you've never lost with this rock, how are you not the greatest gambler of all time? How are you not gambling every single day? I'm about to get fucked.
Yeah, I'm about to take the first loss with this rock.
Yes, because some sort of juju is about to take place. And I was kind of pissed about it when it first happened. Hands me the rock. Cool rock.
He was not happy to give you the rock. It seemed like God told him he needed to give you this rock. It was that vibe where he's
it did feel that way.
It was like spiritual. We're like, all right, thanks.
Like it was finding its final landing place.
He wasn't happy
like
to give it up, but he needed to give you the rock.
Right. So we start to play with Dana. We sit down. First one, we go banker. Player has a 6. Dana throws down a natural 8. We win. The next one goes. The dealer has 2, or the dealer has 0. We have 2. Dealer flips over another face card. We flip over a face card. We win again. And then we do one more hand, and we won that hand as well. We won 3 hands in a row, the fastest we've ever won, and it was because of this rock, dude. In and out. We're to a point where we're stressed out about making a 12:30 flight. It's like 10 o'clock now?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's go to the airport. That's the end of the game there.
That's the cleanest operation you could have had.
The cleanest operation you could possibly have. No hiccups, no nothing. We're celebrating. Dana's taking chips. He's just throwing them out there like they're small little shekels. People are grasping at them and grabbing them. And Vinny from the Bronx, I asked Vinny, I go, "Hey, do you mind if we get a ride to the airport? We're going to get out of here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." We get a victory drink for the boys in the back there. As we grab the victory drink, he's like, "Hey, you might have got a text that your ride's here." So I look at my phone. It says, "Your Rolls Royce Phantom is ready for you." We're like, "Oh shit, we got a Rolls Royce."
How was Demon in that Rolls
But
Royce?
I think we got a
immediate photo shoot.
On the we walked down. Boy, he hit himself a little jog to the car, didn't he? So we hit that, dude.
Vibes were so high.
We got some photos of Demon in there, and we're in this Phantom going down the strip as like we can see like Paris and Cosmo, Aria, all the stuff as we're driving down the strip in a Rolls Royce with all the stars, thinking.
It was unfortunate how close the airport was.
Yeah, I was hoping the drive would be longer.
Like, we kind of want to take a little bit longer.
Real life Entourage.
Demon's like that new Drake album's out, you know.
Well, we started bumping that a little bit too on the car ride in. But dude, it was awesome. Get back around 1 o'clock, boys, to LA.
Correct.
Jared, we're not going to talk about how Jared felt about the private plane we got to fly on.
I think it needs to be discussed.
Then you know what, Jack? I'll let you paint the picture.
I'm private plane.
The private jet back from Vegas to LA.
Demon had some Negative energy.
So again, as
Hold on.
Taylor just described perfectly, it couldn't have been a better gambling situation. We take a Rolls-Royce Phantom to our private jet to fly back to LA to announce Madden picks with the new draft picks. I mean, it's a dream scenario. And we're in the air. Nothing could be ruining the vibe. We're drinking on the plane. Boys are smiling. Boys are laughing. Jared starts kind of motherfucking the plane, saying, it's too hot in here. He goes, this is bullshit. I'm gonna let Jared have his piece.
Yeah, let him go, Jared. Speak for yourself.
Safe to say he was being an energy vampire?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I think there's a standard. It was hot. It was a sauna. We were all sweating. I said, "Are you guys sweating?" And Taylor said, "There's some beads of sweat on my forehead."
But Taylor's probably thinking, it's the price to pay for.
Right.
I go to the bathroom.
I'll be minorly uncomfortable on a private jet for a 45-minute flight. That sounds okay with me.
I will too. It was fine. I was just cracking jokes, but the bathroom is falling apart.
No.
Like the cloth of did you see the door was broken to go to the bathroom? It was a.
I went in the bathroom. It was a pretty nice bathroom.
I thought, dude, the chairs went all the way down too.
There's not a whole lot you can
Jared
say.
also, while complaining, is laying completely flat on a couch on a private jet. He's like, this is bullshit.
With the drink from
with a drink in his hand.
the drink that I took from the casino. Remember, I was like, y'all want this glass back? And you can keep it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. And the glass was like a really nice glass.
It's at my house now. It's my lucky glass.
It's got to be a lucky glass.
Yeah.
By the way, the Rock, we gave the Rock back to the guy. And he seemed like he didn't want the Rock.
He didn't want you to give it back. He was like, no, you need to keep this.
And I was like, no, this is your Rock. You have to have it.
Yeah.
Have to have it.
The PJ was fun.
So Jared bitched and complained. We had a great drive back too. I think big time laughs. Went through our old DMs of what I've sent to Jack and Jared. We were really kind of defining who responds to me more, and who do we have more of a relationship with on social media. Clearly, Jack ran away with it.
Well, at first, Taylor's kind of dogging me. He's like, dude, Jack never responds. And then he
So I
goes
went
to
to Jared.
Jared's DMs, and it's literally Taylor 40 messages in a row, and all there is the occasional emoji response from Jared to Taylor. And I go, well, pull
And
up
some
mine.
of the shit was so funny, bro.
I pulled up mine, and it's like I'm putting work in Taylor's DMs. I'm sending him funny videos, and all of a sudden the narrative starts changing. We start ganging up on Jared. The plane scenario is still in full effect.
Yeah, Jared took a hard L.
That is good.
25-minute
Maybe you're
drive.
just getting cranky.
Yeah, I go to the hotel
Late at
room.
night.
I order buy one get one pizza for myself, and I just knock out with two
Buy one, get one pizza.
So you got 2 pizzas
You
at
bought a
1:30
BOGO?
a.m.
As soon as we landed, I sprinted to my room. I was like, "How fast can I get to bed?"
I said, "How fast can I get a pizza in my stomach?" And
I knew
went
the
to
next day
town.
was going to be a monster. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea about that next day, bro.
I hate to complain right now.
Let's go.
Can I get a straw?
I didn't get one.
What is that?
That's the sound of a quick break to shout out our sponsor, Olipop. It must be a new flavor, and it is. Raspberry sherbet. There's also blackberry vanilla. Olipop is a new kind of soda that combines the classic taste of soda with the benefits of a functional ingredient blend to support digestive health. Olipop is reimagining soda with high fiber and low sugar. You can get a free can of Olipop when you buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store, and we will pay you back for one. Works on any flavor at any retailer. You can go to drinkolipop.com/BWTB. It's also sold online on Amazon and available in the soda aisle with the chilled beverages at thousands of retailers nationwide, including Walmart and Target. Olipop. We love them.
Also, we love getting hard, dude. The older one gets, the more becomes clear that sex is about quality, not quantity. The vibes have to be right. That's why Roast Spark stands out. It helps ensure readiness when the moment is right. After dissolving under your tongue, you get hard in about 15 minutes on average. And when both partners are having a good time, the experience is better for everybody. Roast Sparks helps you get fuller, thicker erections, and they last up to 36 hours, making it easier to be ready for another round if you're both feeling it. Roast Sparks always make sure both partners are feeling it. Rogue connects guys with a medical provider 100% online, and if approved, treatment ships directly to their door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Rose Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect to the provider at ro.co/bussin to find a prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/bussin for $15 off your first order. Hey, Rose Sparks is a compounded drug. drug product. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. For full safety information, go to ro.co/safety info. Let's get back to this episode.
Back in, we found the straw.
We found a straw for Sweet Willie. Clump, go ahead and say what you were just saying while we were waiting for Willie's straw.
He was like,
was
in
off
the
camera.
morning, wake up, I'm like, how was last night, boys? And first thing Jared says to me is that the private jet was hot. It was terrible. And then I say to you, I'm like, hey, Jared said the private jet was hot. And you're like, oh, demon, right away.
You can't tell shit to Clump privately, huh?
We're ganging up a little.
Yeah, man.
We're
vibes
ganging
were
up a
high. We
little.
had
Hey,
fun.
vibes were high, though.
Vibes were so
We love
high.
Jared. We
That's
love
what-
Demon.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
would
love
say
you
he's an
guys.
energy vampire. Just he was.
No,
love
he
you
was just, it's not what he is. He was being that in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Vibes were high.
People get grumpy from time to
We
time.
were like on cloud 9. If anything that's not cloud 9, you got to call it out. You got to be like,
You're just picking one little small thing from one of the best.
I know.
nights
It's
of the year.
something like when things are going so well and things are so awesome, it's like kind of human nature to point out something bad to be like, hey guys, it could be better. I don't know. I'm kind
life
of
is
grasping
perfect
at
right now, but I'm
straws here.
hot. You know?
But dude, we ended up so we wake up at what, 6:45? No.
Earlier.
6:15, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, because we got in the car at 6:30. Because you
Okay,
were
we-
like, can we do 6:35? Arguing
You
for
said
5 minutes.
6:45 is when we start. That was original. I'm thinking to myself, how much sleep can I get? I'm a little sleep bandit, dude. I'll
To find
sneak
out,
some
you need
sleep.
to tell people if 6 people are riding in an Uber. If I'm going to complain about anything.
Yeah. Go ahead and bitch, dude. Go ahead and
Yeah,
bitch.
that was crazy. But
Yeah, we get in that car, man. We go do this the rookie premiere, and the setup's awesome. The people are awesome. Fanatics is over in the corner. They're ripping boxes. We're doing football challenges. They're pressing 1-of-1 hoodies for all of us. It was just an awesome vibe. And then
They had a cool setup.
they had a great
They had a cool
setup, dude. Exos was out there. No free shouts to Exos, but I do love Exos. They had the whole what are the pants? Normatec pants. Thank you. They had rollers. They had massage therapists.
Nice little recovery tent going.
And I had myself a little, not quite the hamstring, but not quite the groin, a little bit of a strain maybe. And I was like, I got to feel a little something. And a couple of the massage therapists were like, go ahead, jump on. And I was like, oh no, I don't have to right now. It's all good. But they were ready to work.
Yeah,
They were ready to get
go.
some work in,
Shout
no
out,
doubt about it.
And it was fun just hanging out with the rookies.
Yeah.
We had about 5 or 6 minutes with each one.
Yeah.
There's like
8
40
minutes,
something of them.
I think it was
41.
like 8 total they get in each stop. They
Yeah.
do their like EA Sports stuff first and then.
Right.
Yeah.
And
We
we
had
did.
fun with them though.
It was awesome. And right before these rookies came up, we're tossing the ball around. Clearly, there's a football field. Guys are having fun. And there's these 3 young cats from Loyola High School.
Hungry. They were
High school,
hungry.
not college. I thought it was a college. It was
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
you
they
know,
were
they're
from
high
high
school. The
school.
kids are 16. Yeah, the kids are 16. We saw these kids. You could tell their dad or somebody brought them to put in work that day. But they're eyeing us up as we're playing a little catch. And we decided to get in a one-on-one with these guys. Clump played my center, got under there, got a couple good snaps. And we're like, who's our best? Who's going to be our best receiver to go against one of these kids? And the guy had to be Jared Beeman. Willie?
Yeah, Jared Demon for sure. Like once he walked up there, these cats and they're salivating.
These 3 little
Dude,
like
they
private
had-
school kids.
They had so much confidence. They were like 16
What does
years old.
boy say about the
His
corner?
buddy, they're about to line up, and he goes, so the Earth's covered 75% water, and he goes, and my boy over here covers the other 25%.
So
And
we're
then
getting the
he-
moment. We're getting it hyped up, and we're like, Jared, come on, you gotta go. And I'm start recording. I'm like, Jared, go hit a 7 route on him. He's like, what is a 7 route? I'm like, a 7 route. Hit the corner on him. I don't know what that is. And so we're getting everything going. I'm trying to give Demon. I'm thinking in my head, we could probably get him coached up enough to have some type of a competitive route.
Yep.
And so I'm like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go. You want to try and he's going to try and press you. Like this dude's going to try and own you at the line of scrimmage. You want to swipe his hands. Just swipe his hands. He's like, so just do this. And I'm like, exactly. Just do that. And once you get about anywhere in between, it's kind of an instinct to feel like if you're able to stack him or kind of get up shoulder on him. But once you
I
hit
can already
anywhere
see
around,
I can just by this story, I can hear how it went wrong already.
this around 7 yards, you're going to stutter like you're going to make a move. So that way he starts to break down. But once you stutter a little bit, then take off again. Just a go route, simple go route. And he's like, so once I get around 7, I'll just break down and I'm like, and then just take off again and keep going. And Taylor's going to dot you. He's like, all right. Then I saw him line up like this out
the
there.
way
I'm like,
he
oh
lined
God,
up,
we're going
I
to get
was-
fucking destroyed.
Well,
on this
Jared
route.
learned, I think it was either earlier that morning or the day before, what a 3-point stance was. So I think in
Yep,
his brain,
that is
he
true.
was
Yeah.
going for a 3-point stance off the line.
Yeah, it was.
And this dude just ate him up. I like Jared, and I know you're not athletic. Like
I didn't play a
I know,
single
I know.
sport.
I say that with nothing but love. But seeing your release and how he just kind of pushed you the way, really just to the entire ground. Like as you go and you kind of like do this and just run, you're gonna lose every time. Like you're not even taking off. You're just giving him your chest.
Yeah, like I don't have an argument because like from the beginning I was like,
Jared, I got an argument.
I don't even
for
want to
you.
do it.
I have an argument for you. Watch this clip, dude. He's got contact with you post 5 yards. That's technically a penalty. We're moving the ball up.
This isn't something that's like, well, I'm going to go
He
work
also
on
might have been
it.
offsides as I look at it. And Jared probably should have started a yard. You should have gave yourself
And
some
they
gap.
celebrated on your candy.
Which is where
bro.
like they had a W until they celebrated like that.
I don't know. That
Losers.
celebration was
That's like the culture of the one-on-one though.
And also, like, you think you just bodied a Bussin' With The Boys producer. Like, that's kind of like, that probably feels pretty good.
They caught a
He was
body.
hyped, bro.
They need to watch some tape. Bro. I'm not the guy you didn't win. Like,
But the crew, dude, I mean, you could tell everybody there.
watch this episode,
Everybody
they
there was working, having fun,
Yeah,
or
if you're
everyone was kind
watching.
of just like strictly working. We came in, we brought a little spice to the morning.
Yeah, we had some fun.
We had some fun. People started to loosen up a little bit. One guy was having none of it, but also respect to that guy for being a professional.
Yeah.
You got to have that. When you got guys like us ripping around who are going to toe the line, push the envelope a little bit, this guy was keeping everybody within the lanes. He put the bumpers on for us bowling. So
He loosened up. Everyone did.
he loosened up. Everyone had a good time.
Great
We ended
vibes.
up crushing it. And dude, 41 dudes, 8 minutes apiece for fucking from 8 a.m. to when we get done, 4:30.
4 p.m.
You went over. It was
You sound
4:40.
like like Bonnie Blue. 41 dudes, 8 minutes apiece.
Back to back to back.
what a great call.
Yeah, nice callback. That's good. Dude, these kids were awesome. All of them were great, like unique personalities. Everyone a little different. It takes like a minute or so to kind of like figure out, okay, what angle do we want to go with these kids? Like, are they like super open about to have fun? Like we had a Bills guy, and I spent the first 3 minutes just doing D's nuts jokes on him. And I told him, I was like, hey, I'm not here to get you. Like I could get you all of these times. However, I'm trying to train you for Josh Allen. Like your first conversation is going to be about X's and O's.
Yeah.
Your conversation is going to be about, hey, what do vampires sleep in? Oh, room 4. Oh, all these things. Who's the girl that used to sit across from in the office? He's going to hit you with all those things. Keep your head on a fucking swivel. All right. That's what this game's about right now. So I'm just trying to give these guys a little bit of game here and there.
I feel like we prepared a lot of them too.
Yeah.
Like when we walked the tight end with the Rams into predicting their record this year. It's like,
Media.
well, this is going to go up in a team meeting.
Right. Sean McVay's going to have that in there. But you also gave him an opportunity to predict again, and he fell back. And it's like, that's how
You're
coachable
learning.
you are.
Yeah.
We hit a game too. I think the last like probably 10 or 15 guys, the reveal, we did the same every single time. And I told them that like, this is the coachability is an attribute on Madden. You can lose 3 points right now by not doing this exactly like you're supposed to do.
Taylor really fine-tuned it.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
They were taking it serious. then.
Seriously.
Like they were like not wanting to mess up.
Yeah,
They
and I'm
were-
like, you will start as soon as I'm done talking, and I would go through the entire thing. You're going to stand up, you're going to face the lady in the chair, you're going to cover your eyes with both hands. You're going to hear me say, Rico, hit it. Once you hear that, I'm going to say, turn around. You're going to keep your eyes covered when you're turned around. And when I say you can look and reveal. We have cameras in here and technology to see if you're peeking. If you cheat this in any way, if you're wrong in any way, you'll lose 3 points. And then a couple guys were like, all right.
No,
I was like,
no one took it as a joke.
Yeah, no one took it as a joke. Not one guy.
Because they have no clue once they're in the tent. We're hiding behind the walls.
Exactly.
they're trying not to lose Madden.
And I got real serious with them. They some guys like stood up immediately, turned, faced her, looked at her, eyes like robotic, like this is how coachable I am. Couple guys rocked it. Couple guys did mess up.
They did mess up.
Couple guys did mess up. We told them, hey, redo.
Bad question. I'm not even going to ask it.
Okay.
Is coachability an attribute?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think
But they didn't know
I
that.
don't think that's a bad.
They didn't know that. Some of these coaches are going to go
But
watch
playing
that.
Madden, I'm like, I don't think coachability.
You had a good wrinkle to that too when the guys would own it, but they're standing there, and you're like, oh, okay, you can sit down now. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, that was
They would
so-
look and be like, okay, so whatever number they were. And all right. They like start talking to me, but I'm like sitting in that little chair and they're like talking. I'm like, I feel like pray right now. Can you like sit down and allow me? Dude, we had Sonny Styles. Just me and
how
Sonny
was he?
Styles.
How was he?
was, I tell you what, my intro was not great. I feel like immediate walls went up when I gave my written present.
Yeah.
And I was like, have you talked to any of your college teammates? He's like, oh, no, I haven't. I go, good, I got you a gift. And we just stared at each other for a good minute.
I think every single Ohio State player that you slip them the paper, Taylor did a bit where he's slipping a Go Blue sign thing, and not one time I think did it land with these guys.
Not once.
But they also had such a issue. They didn't fold. because there was written
That's that
like
education.
don't be nasty.
That's too much.
They would never unfold it completely because there was a printed out copy paper on it, and they think they're reading what is printed on it, but it's just Taylor's signature and Sharpie on the final unfold of the paper. And then as soon as they finally do it, they're like, "All right." And
Got mine. I got mine, didn't I?
Yeah, Carnell.
We had the same record.
And then you would do the
Because
game.
one of them, who was it that wadded it up?
Cornell Tate.
Carnell Tate.
Cornell
Yeah,
Tate
I
was the
thought
one
he
that
had a
wanted
good-
up.
We
Always
posted
exchange
that
about
one.
it.
Audio's tough on that one, but it's posted.
Arvell was probably the best one about it. He was like, I ain't worried about that no more. I'm in the league
He's
now.
like, you're gonna have to worry about Caleb Downs when he comes in here.
yeah, and Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs is where it would start to go south. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, his
buddy,
was.
let's
I don't know if he was doing a bit or if he was dead serious.
I'll tell you what.
He just stood there, looked
When-
at you like, "What are you doing?" Right
When
now?
when he was bodying me, when we were just eyes locked, and he like eventually he broke. He goes, "How are you doing the will?"
yeah,
I thought to myself, this kid's gonna be so successful. He took that and whatever it is, like that just made him more motivated for the next day. And his film too is so good. It pisses me off how good he is.
he's real good.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro.
He was so cool
He's a
though.
beast. Oh, was
Fernando was awesome.
it? Fernando was great. You know, who is it? Kalen Black?
Yeah,
The running back for
Kalen,
Indiana.
Yeah, Kalen Black.
Kalen Black.
Oh, the 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers, but he was
Top back.
he was the Indiana
Yep.
running back. I'm like, we kind of went out before him. He's like one of the only guys we left the tent before he left. And I kind of came back in. He like pulls me aside. He's like, hey man, like, what kind of should I be on the lookout for? Can you like give me any advice or anything? And I'm like, dude, this is awesome that you really want to know about that. Like you can just tell guys like that just want to be great.
And immediately you're like, oh, he's going to fit in perfectly with the 49ers.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, bro, you're in the best locker room. If there's anything you should just take in, it's being around the boys. And I told him how like we're able to establish our locker room and like feel like we still kind of have that going on.
Mm-hmm.
But every guy that leaves the NFL or leaves the sport once they're finally done playing, the one thing they miss the most is the locker room. Like take that in, soak it, nourish it.
Yeah.
I was like, because when you're out of the league, hopefully it's in the next 10 years, you're going to be married. You're going to have kids. Like this is not, you don't go in like Saturdays and go hang out with the boys. Like, no, you hang out with your family. And it's like, that's great, but take this in and hold it now because it's the best. It's awesome. He was great, dude. Fernando Mendoza
He checked us on the Heisman.
checked us.
What did he say?
He's like, oh, you guys weren't. What did he say?
He's like, I got a question for you guys. And then we were running over on time.
Because I was trying to get the ball
We went
signed.
way over.
He's
Yeah,
like, why do
yeah.
you want my signature? I was like, I'm a fan. He's like, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, I got a question for you guys. He did that. And then it didn't get weird, but he was like, you don't remember? And I'm thinking about like running through my brain of like, what could we have said about Fernando that he would not like? And as he's getting up and walking away, he goes, you guys were haters in my Heisman campaign.
Yeah, you guys were against me on the Heisman.
And it's like, yeah, we
I was
were.
like, oh. But I'm also
Who
thinking
were
we were
you?
also saying that he was going to win.
Yeah, but we were saying he shouldn't win.
Well,
Who did you guys
also,
want to win?
Jeremy Klump also said if Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman, it'll be the most boring winner in the history of
I
the
said
Heisman.
worst statistical winner in Heisman history, and he checked me on that.
Check
outside.
Clump individually.
individually
Yeah.
checked me on it. and
I'll
I'm
tell you
like,
what,
oh,
dude.
shit.
And he probably just came across that for a split second. It all just registered like Mike Ross from Suits. He
knew
just-
every detail
He
of
knew
everything.
every detail of it. Because he's
Yeah.
telling us he don't have social media. It's like, well, someone must have showed you something. Because he had a Rolodex of shit.
He hit that.
And also
I
just
messed with it, bro. It was like respect.
yeah, because he is a cat that's like super fun.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say he's
happy-go-lucky.
having fun with it. He's not having like some ill intent. Be like, oh, you guys were hating on me for the Heisman. He was just
consumes
like
the
busting our
content.
balls about it.
Yeah, and also like the whole season, Clump's like, I'm not believing in Indiana. They have to win the national championship
don't
for
do
me to
this.
believe in them. The whole time, even when they played Miami after they just
We
body
squashed the
bagged
beef for Ned and
Alabama, after they just body bagged all these teams in the playoffs, Clump's still like, Miami's gonna dog walk them. There's all this.
That is true. I'm sorry, Fernando. We squashed the beef, but that is true. I'm sorry.
Hey, but go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Go
Fernando was great.
Raiders.
Hey,
He consumes the content too. He's talking about the Nelk bet and all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
Fernando's
yeah.
about the brand.
He has
called
social
out-
media.
he
He
says
called
he
out
doesn't
Kyle.
have social media, but he pulled up 4 different bits we've done in the last like 3 months.
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it's a recent change.
No, I
for
think he
him.
said it was recent.
It is.
Yeah.
No distractions.
That was
type
also
of
the
thing.
first time I've seen him in person. Fernando Mendoza is a big fucking
He's a
boy.
unit.
Bro,
His
you know-
legs are huge.
Yeah, he's got a big body. You know who surprised me in their stature? Carson Beck.
Carson
Yes,
Beck,
we were all
bro.
saying that.
Big,
And a bit of a vibe too,
He
huh?
was awesome.
Hang on, we're talking physique now.
Oh,
Give me
We're talking
Carson
physical.
Beck.
Hey,
Give
you
me
would
Carson
have
Beck.
loved these
Oh,
thighs. Like he came in, he had a little shoulder definition. Like he's a big fucking
Huge
boy.
ass hands. I don't know what his
Big
hands
ass
measure, but
hands.
Dude, he's a
How
big
tall is
dude.
he?
He's
He was up there. We were. He and I were looking eye to eye.
6'5".
Yeah, we were up there.
He's a big boy.
He was put together. Dude.
Yeah,
He was a
put
monster.
together. And just the I tried to play on him and Jeremiah Love, like, how do you guys feel about one of you guys made the playoffs, one of you didn't, type of thing. And both of them super different personalities, but like probably two of my favorite ones we did. Like, it was awesome.
I started questioning why there was so much hate on Carson Beck now, because he was a very fun interview, likable guy.
I started questioning myself. I was like, why have I been hating on Carson Beck so much?
Right when he walked out, you're like, dude, I'm a Carson Beck guy. Like, Carson Beck was...
Because he's got that, like, he's cultured. You know what I'm saying? He's been to a couple of cookouts the way he was talking.
He went to Georgia. Like,
He went to Georgia, and that was the first question I asked. Was like, you think the Georgia fans were a little too hard on you? And he's like, everyone's got their opinion. But the way he was kind of having fun with the questions, like either someone told him and he knew what the idea of this whole thing was right when he walked in, or he's just a guy and had fun with it. He was awesome.
He seems like a dude.
Yeah, he's a dude. Like, I'm low-key rooting for Carson Beck now.
We got to get Coop on the train. Cause
yeah,
that's how it usually happens, though.
It's exactly how it happens.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll be removed and doing our, like, subjective takes on everything.
Right.
And you're kind of like, we're all finding our lanes on who we think is going to win the game. You got to find reasons why they're not, entertainment value and everything else. But the minute you're like around the players, especially if you had this experience with Carson, then you're like going back through your head, like, I kind of hate that I did whatever I did.
I'll say this
Carson
too,
Beck.
like, Beck came in immediately with a bunch of energy. Loved every second of it, to the point where he walked away. I'm like, I'm now a fan of Carson Beck. One that started slow but ended, in my opinion, the best was Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
He came in.
I think it was amazing.
It was amazing.
That,
bro.
when I saw him come up, I was like, oh damn, I didn't get to meet Jeremiah Love.
And bro, I asked him the first question, and he came into with 20 more people were in the
I told
tent.
Will that this morning. I
Dude.
was like, it was the different feel when they walked in with all those people.
Yes,
The
bro.
squad with him.
Everyone was watching. Everyone was kind of, and we then like a lot of them in the back were laughing and stuff like that. Overall, the conversation taking place, but we go through it. The first answer he has is like, he's essentially whispering at me. I can't even fucking hear what he's saying. I'm like, thank God he's got a mic on. And then we start talking. He starts to open up a little bit. We start to have a little bit of fun. And I'm like, all right, you ready to hear your Madden rating? He's like, no, let's talk about something else. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, hell yeah, dude. Like, what do you like to do? I saw the thing where you don't drink, you don't go out and party, blah, blah. Like, what's a hobby you want to get into?
all-time answer.
All-time answer. He sits back and he's like, I don't know, like sightseeing? And I'm like, I go, with like binoculars or what's it? He's like, I think I just want to people watch. And I hit them with the bit of Zips and all that. We got to go to Zips. I go, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come out to Arizona, get a nice Zips, grab a podcast, watch some anime, and then around like 1:30, 2 a.m., you and I will go to Old Town Scottsdale, and we'll just watch the people walk out in zombie mode together and just do some sightseeing together. Dude, he was awesome.
He was on the back of a tailgate.
He was like down, like at the end of it, he's like, I would love to come on the show. I would love, like he was about it, and his team, I think they were about it too.
They were cracking up.
They were
all
good. Yeah,
laughing.
they were having
It
a
was
good time. We had some fun. And I'll tell you this, man. I have a major shout out here. We had about 7 or 8 left, and I was getting tired. I was letting the demons knock at the door a little bit of like, you've been doing a lot. If you want to rest a little bit, how are you going to keep your energy for these last 8 or 9? And I look over at Jeremy Klump and Jared Beeman, and they do so this is kind of inside ball, but they started faking like they were shooting heroin in their veins. Like, remember when we were in Miami and we're doing like the interpretive dance type shit?
Yeah.
And I started doing it, and I don't know why at that moment when I did it to myself, I had energy the rest of the time. It was like a shot of espresso to the veins immediately. It was awesome. It was so good because you guys were like, hey, Taylor, and you guys just both started doing the thing. And then, bro,
in front of all these like
in
NFL
front of all
people,
the
we're
people.
like, hey man,
yeah. So I like fake tie my arm up. I do it, and I'm like slowly passing out in the corner, and they're like, all right, we got so-and-so. I'm like, I get up immediately and go to the next person. We just started ripping them, dude.
the crew is completely ignoring what you're doing. They're like, Taylor, he's about to come in. Taylor, and you're just
Dude, it was so much fun, man.
How was Ty?
Ty was
he's
knew
all
the
energy,
assignment.
bro.
Also, do you guys want to say what your first question to him was about McVay?
I don't even remember.
Oh my God, the
was
bit
so funny.
when you're like, hey, throw me this ball real quick. Dude, so we're sitting. Will throws him the ball and he goes, give me a toss real quick. Tosses it back to him, and Will goes, now why would Sean McVay not like that? Yo, and we started fucking dying, bro.
And he came in with all that energy too. Like he's just fired up.
Yeah. Because we wanted to get him on the show, but Rams PR was like, no. Not right
Optics.
now. Not right now.
We get it. Like we
fully understand Ty Simpson will be on the show.
Love the Rams.
Because we're also telling McVay, we're like, we also have like not like history with Ty, but he's like one of the boys. Like we've had like a small relationship with him.
He's a friend of the show. He's a friend
like
without being a friend.
Yeah, like in a unique way too. With the boost stuff, and then this pregame, knowing how bought in he was, DMing back and forth with him. He's been on. He's zoomed in before, but we've been trying to get Ty for a while. We've been trying to like line it up. And after the conversation with McVay, it was more of like, we get it.
We know because McVay kind of told us, like,
just know
he gives all the inside ball of everything.
Yeah. If he was wearing any other jersey, like, we'd still want to be like Ty's. He's one of the boys.
Yeah, we will always and forever root for Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Always.
After we met him too, he literally goes, "Yo, where's JP at?"
Yeah.
JP not in LA with us, just continuing his motion streak. And so I get a video of him like, "Yo, say what's up to him." He's like, "Yo, you should be here. Like, gotta like see you next time." And then another shout out to Mitch and a body bag moment for me. He ends and he goes, "Yo, good to see you, Mitch." And I go,
No, I didn't even hear that.
I just had to walk it off, man. I go, "Good to see you too, man."
That feels good. That feels good.
He didn't correct it either.
But I mean, he knows all the guys. Like, you can tell he's like Fernando. He's like a different level of fan. Like he's our demographic if he wasn't playing in the NFL. Like he's watching every Tuesday.
No doubt.
Then when Ty,
he's watching this right now, laughing to himself and low-key kind of feeling bad that he body bagged you.
Then when Ty hit us with the 85 Madden ratings.
Oh, that was a huge moment for Will.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
I asked him outside before we went on the interview, just on the vlog camera. I go, "Hey, if you had to give Will and Taylor a Madden ranking, what would it be?" And he goes, "Man, I don't know. Like, honestly, I'd probably put them both at 85." And then I went up to Will. I go, "You need to ask him about the Madden ratings." And then obviously,
no, Jack, you didn't just go in. You sprinted in the room before Ty came in and go, hey, ask about the Madden ratings. Will, you're gonna love it. And then Taylor stares at me and backs up like, "Hey, what the fuck is happening here?"
Taylor immediately went in the corner and is going, "I had 3 Pro Bowls." Will was undrafted.
I was a first round pick. Like,
and what's funny is seeing him try weirdly try and justify whatever his rankings were in his head.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, that's just a tip of the cap to Will Compton. Like, all the things he's done after his career, people are like, Will was a fucking...
Will was a dog.
Will was that dog. Will and Taylor were the same in the locker room. And it's like, I don't know if it's a worse look for me or a better look for Will, but I'll just stay on the positivity side and be like, hey, shout out Comp, right?
It was.
Damn. Hey, also, shout out Jack on Cade. Cade Klubnik?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Getting JP's ass with that clip.
Well, we with Jeremiah Love and Carson Beck, because Cooper Comstock, the scroll stopper, busted employee, huge Cardinals
Scroll
fan.
stopper is such a great nickname for him.
So after the interviews, I went up to Carson Beck. I'm like, "Hey, can you just give a little shout out to our boy Cooper?" He's like, "What's up? Go Cards." The same thing with Jeremiah Love. And then Cade Klubnik comes in, Clemson quarterback, notorious Clemson hater, JP Hovey. We're like, "Hey, we've got a guy in the shop who not only is a huge Clemson fan, but a huge Jets fan." And we got him to do the shout out. And JP didn't even see it till this morning.
Oh.
And JP still kind of bodied him because in the clip, Cade kind of stutters and he goes, "Man, he's already scared. He's like scared to be in the NFL." I'm like, JP just stays winning in these situations.
He does, man. He's like Kevlar. Dude, you just can't penetrate. Great time.
Yeah, overall, great time. Dude, it is sick. It is sick knowing they wanted us out to do reveal Madden ratings.
Where were you? Because it seemed like you weren't with him the whole time.
So, which day on EA?
Yeah.
So Rue had a ballet recital, when
so
everything
you
was
went
getting
home.
figured out, and Clump was like, "Hey, would you guys want to do EA Sports wants to have you guys out to do content, like do some Madden ratings, like do content for EA?" And I was like, "I'm down. I have to be back home because Rue has a ballet recital on Sunday." So all the plans got figured out and worked out, negotiated, all that stuff happened. So then I had to leave at 1:00. So after lunch, my flight was booked at 3. He's like, "Hey, you're going to fly out at 3. You'll land back in Nashville at 9. And so that problem was solved. But then when we get and we're sitting in there and we realize, I didn't know what the entire schedule was going to be that day. I just knew I was going to leave at 1:00. Clum's like, "Oh, we're going to have to stay until 4 because of content and everything else." But I didn't know the entire day was going to be just the one-on-one interviews. So when I was leaving at lunchtime, I'm in my head, I'm like, I felt bad like having to leave, knowing that it's the same. What we just did, it's the same thing for the back half of the day. Because I thought we
we were barely halfway through too.
yeah, like they had 7 guys per like
Yeah.
they would have like 7. They're like, oh, we'll give you new 7 sheets whenever the guys come in. But everybody was slated for like 6 to 8 minutes every one. Because before the event happened, I'm thinking, I didn't know what we were going to do. I'm thinking we're going to reveal Madden raise the guys. That's going to be fun. And we'll probably be like shooting content around the whole scene of what the rookie premiere is. But it was basically one-on-one interviews. But my flight was at 3, so I left at 1 to go make my flight to get home.
Got you.
And bro, the weather was incredible, but we were inside this tent
Bro.
and we're getting steamy. And the night before, because we hit the cold tub, I didn't have the heady play of the underwear game. So I'm raw dogging I'm going
know
commando,
that.
bro. Oh.
God bless, bro.
I was
That's
hurting at the end, swamp ass, like crazy.
feel like you
We're on
normally do
the
that,
flight back from LA back to Vegas for our second Vegas trip in the last 12 hours. Jared's got dude wipes. He's shirtless, just in his underwear, showering. While I'm, vampire
not a
sleeping
bad
for the
idea.
35 minutes.
Shower
before-
wipes.
Yes. Shout out Kevin's
After.
Natural Foods, clean take.
Dude,
if you can't take a shower, wipe down.
You made a funny comment. You're like, you were sitting in the chair, didn't even want to move because if you moved, you'd start sweating.
Oh, bro, I know. And there was a couple times I wanted to get outside because once you get out of the tent, it's like way less hot. But as soon as I'm outside, I'm like, oh, there's a ball. I kind of want to play catch. And it was just fun. Like the kid in me kind of came out. I was like, oh, I want to have the most fun I can during this whole thing. One thing I wish we did was I wish we were able to kind of experience all the different tents. It was cool that we got there early in the morning,
bro,
to do all the
things.
things.
Because it seemed like you're hearing music going on
Right.
by whatever they're doing inside of that tent. You see one where it's just like a photo opportunity. Guys are getting up there, like climbing up at the top of the stairs, like on this platform up there.
Yeah.
Like doing all these shots. And then Fanatics or whatever trading card company's doing it, they're going straight from photos or getting them on the computer to like put them on cards like immediately. So they had like a lot of cool things going on around the entire event. Probably like 20 tents around. And we just had one that we had to be in like the whole time.
And it was cool being at USC's campus too.
Yeah, it would have been
Like,
sick to get a tour
Yeah.
of USC's campus.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Because, I mean, I've told you guys a story about going to that junior camp when Pete Carroll was there. And that was the last time I was there. Like, dude, the campus is sick. Outside the campus, woof. But in the campus, badass.
And just being around those practice fields too, like even back in like 07, 08 when Rivals was like starting to pick up steam, I felt like the backdrop of campus, like of their practice field was always like when I'm around there seeing it, like the nostalgia of you see like a photo of you and you see the backdrop of their practice field with
That
just
was
the
at
walls.
USC. That was there. Yeah.
You just know, oh, that dude got invited to a USC camp.
Right.
Dude's a stud.
Dude.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
Yeah,
a
that
stud
guy's a
yet.
stud. It's like a stamp.
Dude, we had a great time. And then as soon as this EA thing ended, but everyone there was incredible. Dude. We had, I hope to God EA wants to do more stuff with us because I had too much fun during that.
Dude, they will, because I've got to give y'all a shout out. You guys absolutely crushed the interview. Made these guys kind of like level out. Like there was like a tone of like not as serious, but we're going to get to serious conversation. And both of y'all together were so funny. And then when Will left and it was just Taylor, there's kind of a moment where it's like, how are these interviews going to go now with the one-on-one dynamic? Dude, I have not seen Taylor in flow state like that, maybe ever. He truly was so comfortable in the chair and just getting like great information out of guys. It just felt like you've been doing this for 20 years, just interviewing guys. So both y'all and Taylor individual crushed it. I'd be shocked if EA doesn't want to do stuff with us. in
All the
future.
Super
employees
kind,
like
Jackie.
around, just in the tent, seemed like they were having a great time.
Right.
Like the
Yeah,
Rico
it was sick.
dynamic.
Rico was awesome because Rico had nothing to do with EA, right? Who
Rico's
was he
just
with?
The production company.
And it turned into a bit of like, oh, Rico's the guy that does all the
Yeah,
things. And
yeah.
so, dude, it was awesome. Dave, Rico, Pablo, the mic guy, he loves his job. I know that.
Yep.
Sound guy, Pablo, he loves his shit.
Yeah.
And there's a couple times he'd be like, hey, boy, calm down. I'm like, I kind of fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
Kind of mess
the
with
guys
him
in
a
the
little bit.
back, like to echo what Jack said, there's so many times we'd all look at each other, all the production people, like, yeah, like this is great.
There
content.
wasn't one bad moment
We were
from
just
behind
having
the
a
scenes.
vibe
It
back
was
there.
you guys, like Jack said, like crushed every interview. Everything went smooth. It was like the most like, besides it being a long day, the most like perfect like work day as far as like production. It was like
Yeah.
everything went right. Vibes were high. Everybody was cool with the EA. It was like amazing.
And then one thing I didn't talk about Friday is Jack got Dana White to collab on a photo. The most unlikely photo.
I don't know if that's like I got him to. I posted this AI photo of Taylor and Dana jacked, and he collabed within 60 seconds. Before Taylor collabed, he collabed. I don't even think Taylor's going to collab until
he
Dana
wasn't.
collabed.
I started going, oh, I got to get on this. I gotta get on that. It's just me and Dana just fucking swole. It was, dude. You were on a bit of a heater on the social media this weekend too. The UFC, the Conor McGregor got announced on Saturday.
Crazy.
Jack puts it out.
No, that's Alex Porter. Alex Porter.
Alex Porter puts it out and shout out Alex for having the headiness just to shoot collabs out there of possibilities. Dana doesn't collab with UFC. He collabs with Bussin With The Boys.
Yeah.
And it like
for the
what?
Return of Conor McGregor.
Yeah, for the return of Conor McGregor.
Bussin'.
Bro, this is how big Conor McGregor is. So that fight is happening July 11th. My child is due July 15th. Darren Bates DMs me and is like, we got to go to this. Darren Bates. And I hit him back. I go, bro, like my child is like, dude, like Taylor can go into labor. I get home Sunday morning and we're talking about the Conor McGregor thing. And Taylor's like, bro, you have to go to that fight. Like this is the last time Conor will ever fight. Like you have to. I'm like, what if you
That's
go?
bucket list.
What if you go into labor? She's like,
we'll have another kid.
yeah. She legit is like, you have to make that. I'm thinking to myself, what God did I make happy to receive a woman like Taylor? Because I'm thinking, I clearly want to go to that fight. It's going to be incredible. The atmosphere will be like nothing we've ever seen in our entire lives. However, like I want to be there for the birth of my child. And my wife, who is carrying our child, is like, dude, they'll be all right. Like she's go, have fun. Just make sure if something happens, you have a way to get back. And I'm sure JJ and Flyhouse will figure out a way for me to get back. Am I right, Clump? Yeah. And I need Clump to go too.
Hey,
I can't. My wife is due the 12th. I'm not going.
Buddy, you're going with me. You're with me. We're going.
hey, Conor McGregor coming back
Oh shit, you might want to come.
to McGregor?
Yeah.
Yeah, like go watch Conor McGregor fight.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
Will, you're in.
1000%.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
That's a
That's a bucket list.
yeah,
Like,
Vegas, Conor McGregor. That's like the only thing outside of swimming with killer whales. That's like my bucket list right there.
So we need to get Conor. So you see Conor McGregor fight, you swim with killer whales, life's complete.
Yeah,
All right.
Faint take.
Seems like we got to do it,
I'm
right,
gonna
boys?
work on this killer whale thing immediately. We'll take a vlog.
We got to have
Guys,
Will.
guys.
Will needs something to live for. So let's just pull back on the killer whale thing for a second.
guys, Conor McGregor coming back to the octagon.
can we
How
all,
many
can we
years
all
has it
go to
been?
this?
About
'Cause I
6?
wanna
I
see.
doubt it. I've
Been over 5, right? Last time he fought was 2020.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, right?
When he broke his leg, right? That
Yeah,
was his
he
last
broke-
one.
Oh, that broke my heart to see what you just pulled.
2021.
2021. So yeah, it'll
but
be
that's
5
when
years.
Dustin Poirier, right?
Yep.
Now we won't get into predictions of that, but
What are
Max
the odds
Holloway.
What are the odds that actually follows
That's
through?
true. We do have
Okay.
a couple months.
hold on. So I've talked to
This is as real as it's been, though.
It's close.
a couple people about that. Like, hey, what are the odds? Everyone feels very confident that it's gonna get done. I got a tickle in my throat. Well, I don't know what tickle you had in the beginning of the show.
So I gave it to you.
Excuse me. Hold on.
That's okay. Just take a little swig. But yeah, everybody's like, anybody who comments about it, it's like, I'll believe it when he walks in that octagon, which is
Right.
fair.
Which is fair, but we'll be there.
And-
Allegedly. I still got to figure out if I really want to go.
And will he be able to pull it off against Max Holloway? I mean, this is 5 years outside of the octagon. You know what I mean? Like, I get Conor McGregor's Conor McGregor. Like, we're all gonna buy back into his return to the octagon. Anything he puts out content wise, you're gonna want to believe that ghost of Conor McGregor that we all loved back in the day.
Yep.
But is he really gonna be able to do it against Max Holloway, who still, like, Max Holloway continues to fight? Like,
But
just
he's a
getting
dog.
back in the ring. Like, imagine going, say you kept as much as you could and getting back on the field after 5 years of being outside of football.
Dude, we had this conversation Saturday night after the fight was announced. And I just spoke for myself and I was like, I've been removed from football for 3 years. 3 football seasons I have been out of the league. I don't even remember what it's like to get hit, put on pads. It feels like I lived a completely different life and I'm living a separate life now from my NFL career.
Right.
The amount of violence it takes, the amount of callous, the toughness, the callous of like getting hit over and over again to the point where it's like, it feels more like an everyday experience as opposed to a unique experience. It's just so different. So if he can pull it off, like it'll be one of the most incredible things I've ever seen, especially against a guy like Max Holloway, who can throw bows probably with the best of any of them in the entire UFC.
Even the environment of it. Like, I get Conor McGregor's, as much as anybody, built for an environment and an atmosphere like that. But the adrenaline dump that takes place, again, 5 years outside of the octagon, like, it's going to be hard for me to think that Conor's going to pull it off. Like, there is a part of me, the young fan who loved Conor McGregor, that's going to be rooting for him to win. But the reality is like, dude, is he going to be able to walk out in that octagon, consume that entire atmosphere, and put on a winning performance against Max Holloway,
who
stayed steady?
Who has stayed steady. If I'm Conor McGregor's team, I'm taking the first part of what you just said. It's going to be hard for me to believe that he can walk in that octagon and win, and I'm showing it to Conor right now. There's going to be a montage of those.
He like, obviously he gets motivated by everybody who hates against him or roots against him and everything else, and everybody's already breaking down like Max Holloway, he kind of stands there. This is actually a perfect opponent for Conor. But that's also assuming that Conor's going to be Conor right out of the gate walking out there.
Yeah. Buddy, it's going to be awesome. Whether we go or not, it's going to be incredible. Because, my God, ain't that something, Clumpy, huh?
I'm excited I can watch it from the hospital.
All
Paramount Plus, that's dope, dude.
$8.
No, it's not gonna be
Yeah,
$8 a month.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Everybody's
cool.
going to be tuned into that fight.
Yes.
It's the return of Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And a big thing, July 11th is a fight, correct?
Yeah.
10 days later, going to be hell for me. And for Talon. That's Talon's birthday, but it's also Father's Day.
That's July.
Yeah, July.
Oh, shit, June 21st.
Wait,
I was trying to pivot into, we got Father's Day merch.
We got Father's Day merch and you look incredible.
And that's why we're professionals,
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
miss.
We got some Western themed merch out for Father's Day. We're rocking a couple of the outfits right now. We have hoodies. We have T-shirts.
Look at that.
Look at that. Just a couple bears.
Couple bears, couple
Father
cowboy
and
bears.
son.
Got this hat on right here. Retired cowboy, full-time dad. BWTB.com. This little boy right here might be nice. If you're a Texas fan, I'd put this on with a pair of blue jeans, huh?
Proud to be a dad. BWTB.com. Get your Father's Day merch. It's going to be coming. It's dropping now, right?
it's live.
It's
live right
right
now
now.
as you're tuned in watching
Right
this.
now. So dads, send this to your wife. Be like, I know I've sent you 1,000 clips on these idiots, but please just listen to this small thing right now. We need this dad merch for Father's Day.
How long we been ripping the intro, Demon?
Hour 10. We took a little pause, but
Oh, we got to.
Yeah, we got to
People who tune in for
we gotta
Sean
get the hell
McVay's
outta
like,
here.
when is
Let's
Sean
get the hell outta
McVay
here.
coming right
We're
now?
gonna do interns.
Oh, yeah. Interns are coming.
Our summer internship program starts in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I would assume that the interns who are coming in here, they probably listen every week of Bussin With The Boys.
They should.
You would assume, right? Every
Yeah.
minute.
If I want a job at Bussin With The Boys and I have an internship, I would be consuming as much content as I possibly could, including 2 weeks before.
Yes.
So
With that being said,
if they're listening,
annually, let's start the tradition.
of telling them what they should bring in.
Should we talk about fit? I mean, they got to become suited, correct?
So Clump had an idea of doing the Hawaiian outfit, and then as kind of the dust settled of our pre-production meeting, people brought up like the suit's kind of a thing now, where it needs to be a suit.
We asked guys who are with us now that came from the internship program, hey,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? And our boy Matt Malone was like, oh, they need to rock suits. Like,
Have-
that's like a thing. Like, it feels like it's got to be a tradition.
Day one, suited and booted for Bussin' With The Boys.
The Michigan boys did.
Mission Boys in, and hey, by the way, shout out them. I don't know if you guys talked about them last week because I wasn't here for the intro, but incredible boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible boys. So suited and booted.
Suited and booted.
Got to be locked in.
I feel like they should come bearing gifts
Have
of some sort.
maybe something that's hard to get.
Last year was Sour Patch Kids.
Hey, if you're a tier one, you don't skip over this. If you're a tier one, you're not going to skip over the opportunity I'm about to present in front of you right now. May 27th, Jared Beeman and Friends is going to take place in Nashville, Tennessee at Zany's. I'm going to be hosting this thing. I'll get up there. I'll say a couple things. You guys want to have a couple pictures, couple hangs, have a couple cocktails. We can do all of that. We watch Jared Beeman and a slew of talented comedians step on stage and just have a good giggling time. If you want tickets, there's only a few left. So go to nashville.zanys.com, snag your tickets, grab the crew, and let's make a night out of it, boys. It's a time to have a little bit of fun. And why not put Jared Beeman on a little pedestal with all of his boys and gals and have a little bit of fun? Big hugs, tiny kisses. Enjoy the rest of this episode. Here's what I think, dude. When you say bearing gifts, it'd be easy for us to say, bring us X, Y, and Z. I think these individuals should bring us a gift that resembles where they are from, where they have to put it in their own mind of like, what? How do I want to represent myself? Oh, I'm from Arkansas. I'm from New Jersey. I'm from all these other places. This is what means something to me, and it is a gift from me to the boys.
I love that.
You like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's just one singular thing or one thing for each of the boys.
Singular.
Singular thing, Mitch. Yeah.
We'll do
15
that.
things.
We'll do this too to make sure they're just on their P's and Q's. We'll continue to build off that idea so we can give more examples of like what to bring in, where they're from next week. Because then next week we will also say like a different theme. Maybe we'll go with the Hawaiian theme, but we all know they need to come in rocking suits.
I like this. I
It's a
like
heady
this.
play.
This is what happens when a gay man goes through an escape games. Yeah. He starts to become devious. I like that. Okay, so this is the real one. This is the official one. We're going suited and booted, and we want a gift that represents where you are from and a reason. I mean, you're gonna get on the mic.
Story behind it.
I need a story behind it. Something. It doesn't mean something like that. It belongs to you. Maybe you buy something at a gift shop, and it's like, oh, this reminds me of X, Y, and Z. Or me and my father did this, or whatever.
Yeah, and we can start like a shelf or something.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Prepared
gift to the
explain
shop.
it. You just gotta be prepared to explain why you brought it.
Exactly.
I believe last year, I think
Yeah, you're
they,
right.
they had to call Jared a bitch,
Yeah. Should we have some
and
kind of
Ryan was
thing?
the only one to do it.
Really?
Yeah. Should they have like some type of like code word? You know what I mean?
Like a mission?
Yeah, a mission is the word. Like a mission that they do day one that like when they do it to that guy, me last year getting called a bitch, was like, okay, you listened. Is there something else they could do like that?
You watch my
what did they
highlight
do?
tape.
That's a good idea.
Pants Matt.
All of them.
No
just
bad
pants
We
idea.
and
can
Matt.
just
No bad ideas
scrap
are based
that.
on.
next week we can build on some of these and then try to give them
yeah.
something to get off the scent of what exactly they have to do.
Yeah.
So very
No,
confusing.
we have to have something now. We have to. It
Yeah,
has to be
'cause this is the
concrete
real
now.
one.
Because this is the real one. So let's just do one more thing. We'll figure it out. We can cut through a bunch of this bullshit if we need to. Do we want to pause and come back when we have something?
What out of everybody in the shop, who would you say doesn't consume all of the Bussin' With The Boys episodes?
Jack.
Coop.
But Jack's on the bus. Like Jack's usually on the
I was
bus
just-
at
I
all
was just
times.
taking a
Chef.
Like somebody who's not on the
No,
bus.
Chef listens every morning.
Chef does. Chef will be like, hey, that interview with
I would honestly say Coop or
Matt Malone. What are we all talking
Matt
about
makes
now?
clips though.
Yeah, but he makes clips of when you tell him to. He
But
ain't
we're
gonna
not
listen to
clipping
this
this.
part.
We're not
gonna
clipping this. We're not gonna clip this.
Honestly,
Matt Malone.
All right, let's do
Coop.
Matt Malone.
like with
I think Coop because like Coop is just kind of
we could go Coop, Matt Malone. I don't think JP listens to like he's not gonna hear this one.
Probably not.
So you go Coop, Matt Malone, JP. Next week we'll have a mission for each one of them. Like when they come in, like maybe it's in conversation to where they have to achieve something in said conversation.
But this is the real one, so don't we have to do
Yeah,
it?
we should lock in a real one right now. What if they just get
We're losing people
ask each
fast
of them.
right
We
now.
ask each of them. They have to go and get a signed autograph from Matt Malone,
I like
JP, and Coop.
I like that.
That seems simple enough.
But
Simple.
does it have to be where like they have to get their signature without being like I need your autograph? Like they have to find a way to get their signature.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
I
'Cause then
love
it
that.
plays on the part of them not listening either.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This
Yeah, you
is
can't
and
just-
this is
Good work, Jack.
Yeah, and this is a good example why we do brainstorms before the show, right? We got a little rocky here, but it's all good.
We'll work through it.
Should we hit some tier talk before we get
Let's
out
hit
of
some tear talk.
Let's get a couple of these tier talk right here. This comes from can you zoom in on that for the love of God? Tech Eagle 22 hashtag tier. Can you zoom in on that, please? If you could go back and play a different sport and receive a full ride to any college, which sport and college would you pick that would be the sickest experience? Example, golf scholarship at Hawaii.
I mean, that's kind of perfect.
I'll tell you what, dude. I know you guys are not big hockey guys, but getting a full ride to play a little puck at the University of Michigan
Didn't it say different school?
has to be a different school. What could I do? Oh, sand volleyball scholarship, San Diego State University.
That's a good one.
Well said.
Onward.
I feel like baseball
Sand
at Tennessee would be
volleyball.
dope.
Yeah, baseball would be sick. And you're a beast, I'm assuming, in this sport?
Yeah,
Got to be a beast. I mean, baseball at LSU.
that's what
I've,
I
Yeah, I
been
was
to,
gonna
I've been
say-
to an LSU baseball game, and it is
That's what I was saying. But
nasty,
the
bro.
New Orleans weather just kind of sucks.
Well, it's Baton Rouge. So it's
yeah,
better.
but at LSU,
Yeah.
like being a badass pitcher at LSU. Look at Paul Skeens.
right.
Yeah, but like playing for Tony V, I know he's not there anymore, but
But that dude having that purple hat of LSU, and you're just looking down some cat.
I agree. I'm going to say pitcher at LSU.
I like that.
just pumping Ched.
Yeah, pumping Jed.
Um,
Great tier talk. Here we go. A tier talk here from Ryan on Spotify. When is the commissioner of college football coming back on the pod? Need some college football talk with the boys this summer. Maybe an over-under episode.
Oh, that could be fun. I do have a bone to pick with Josh Pate. Josh Pate was out there tornado hunting yesterday.
He's been out there all weekend.
He's
still
told
out
me.
there. He posted this morning. He's out there storm chasing.
He's told me, hey, I'm going to tell you when and where. Obviously, I couldn't have gone this week, but to not receive a text. A couple weeks ago, he sent me a text. He's like, hey, just be aware it could be on this Monday. And I'm like, hey, I'm ready. If I can shoot this intro, I'll even dip on the intro to go do this tornado chasing with you. and it ended up not working out, but did not receive a text from the commissioner.
Yeah, he's in the
Kinda
middle of
tough.
probably a tornado right now as we're recording this episode.
He probably didn't have reception. That's why.
Probably is what it is. He did tweet back on my tweet, but you're right. You are right.
But as far as the having a college football, getting a locker room going this summer,
Would love it.
I think would be a great breakup.
Be great.
Good like break in all the regular programming.
I'm with that. Maybe a little bonus sode with Patey Boy. Get a bonus sode with Clay and Delaney as well. Why not, dude?
Yeah, miss the boys,
Sit down with the
man. Always
fellas.
miss
Get
the
after
boys.
them. All right, let's get this tier talk. This is from, please, for the love of God, zoom in a little more. Thank you.
Emil Bequet.
6079, hashtag tier talk. Best motivators on the field or pregame speeches at any level.
So Emil Bequet, this is Deloge Bonterre boy right here. Good
Nice.
buddy of mine growing up. We were teammates.
This is your boy.
Yeah, this is my boy. Same age, same grade, same high school. Grew up playing on the same teams.
That's actually sick.
Yeah, shout out Emil.
So what's your answer?
Best motivators on the field or pregame speeches at any level. I'm going to say John Gruden, and I'm going to say Bo Pelini.
I'm going to give 3. One I've heard myself. The other one I experienced this weekend, and one I'm just based on the recent conversation that just took place. Number 1 is going to be Charlie Ragle, Chaparral High School head coach. Back, I tell you what, we played.
Dude,
week
R.I.P.
1.
Charlie Ragle.
He's alive. He's alive and well. Charlie Ragle had me running through a brick wall week 1. Running through a brick wall. I love that man. His pregame speeches are incredible. Listening to Sean McVay in this interview, his pregame speeches have to be, I need to be confirmed, but they've got to be 10 out of 10. And then finally, based on the individual that asked this question, Wyatt Compton. This fall, I want to get a mic'd up pregame speech from Wyatt Compton as they go and take the field for the first time under his tutelage.
What about Lanning?
Oh, good
See,
call.
I'm thinking,
That
Good
you've
call.
experienced?
I was just thinking of what I've experienced. But yeah, landing some of those videos you see behind the scenes.
Getting to see the one before Ohio State was enough for me to be like, Coach, I'll go back right now.
Landing before Colorado.
You know who else? I
Yeah.
bet you has a big one? Mario Cristobal.
Oh,
I bet you Cristobal can go off on a pregame speech now. I bet you can go
you'll get your
nuclear on
piss
one.
hot.
Honorable mention, Mike Eckler.
Oh,
Eckler's more of like
I feel like
maybe on the field.
yeah, I was gonna say like hyper.
Yeah. Very hyped up on the field.
We need to go to a Friday Night Lights with Wyatt Compton and get a pregame
Oh, I
speech.
have to. Here's one here from Dick Richard. After seeing Taylor Lewan's love for Travis Pastrana at Power Slap, what's it going to take to get a Pastrana land trip and vlog with some of the boys and Delaney? I want to see a 6'7" man backflip at pit bike into the foam pit.
it will take an invite from Travis Pastrana.
We've tried a few different times.
I know. There was a couple years ago, you and Talon were trying
I was
to
going to
sneak it
say
for my
that was
birthday.
probably a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that was a while back. Like Taylor was trying to line it up to where we could go out there for your birthday. Then there was a second time where it seemed like our team and their team were communicating about lining something up for us.
We were very close, and then it just fell.
It just
through.
fell through. So it's been on the table before. I'd love to put it on the table again. I want to out myself a little bit. As young kids, when we all get in the trampoline, guys would do backflips all the time. I would never be able to commit to the backflip. I would always get too scared with the rotation and all that. So I would be terrified to do this.
Have to though.
Have to though, right?
Have to.
Have to do this.
You were asked and said yes to hitting the big ramp at Nitro Circus this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say a lot of things when my gods are in front of me, right? I'll say a lot of things, and I will.
A backflip though, like I see what you're saying. It's
Like
not
a
it's not like we're going up to the 10 meter thing and you're just jumping off something or doing something.
Right. There's
Like,
actually
there's
the
a level
skill
of-
has to
yeah,
take place.
yeah.
Like riding the bike off of ramp into a foam pit to me is not like we can do that. That's not an issue.
yeah.
It's hey, how do we rotate the whole thing? Because foam pits are much safer, but that bike lands on you upside down. You can still break shit.
I mean, pit bike, not like a big bike.
But still.
But it's the
Yeah.
like.
and I'm a big boy.
it would hurt,
That foam
but, like-
compresses a little bit faster when this body frame is hitting it. So
Let's get the invite first, then we'll work
let's
out
get
the
the
details.
we'll work out the
Yeah.
details.
Yeah.
This one comes from Jared Ladd. What's the best? Can you please zoom up? Oh, what's the next bite? Bit, he said, but hashtag tier talk. There's a sandwich in front of us with 1, 2, or 3. Now, on 3, I want everybody on the bus to say the number. Everyone good with that?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
3.
3.
2.
It's a 3-piece.
Really?
It's got to be 3. You take 3 and you set yourself up for 2.
Yep.
And it's like 2 times 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you go 2, then you're in this weird place where all of a sudden, I don't know. I just don't
Like you're
I don't
looking
see
at
the
that
vision.
sandwich, and if you eat 2, looking at 1 and 3, you got nothing but kind of bad ball left.
And you get like
you get
jelly
3
on
out of the way, because then 2, you're building 2 into even more when you take that bite, and all you have nothing left except the crust where the 1 lies.
This is a moment where I'm taking the eye candy of just seeing the meat and the flavor
Oh yeah,
of 2.
and you
to
see
where I'm
that
like,
cheese.
I see the cheese. I know that's probably going to be the best bite of the sandwich. And I'm a guy that I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get what's mine right
'Cause
away.
look,
But make it better and take 3 first.
If you take 3 out right here,
Yeah.
look at what you got left with 2.
Yeah, but then you got some bullshit at the end.
Right, but you're just gonna bite it to where this is left, and that's when you're gonna make a decision of, do I finish the sandwich? If there's some sauce, I'll dip it and I'll enjoy it, or do you throw it in the trash?
If you go,
'Cause if you go, 2
I'll tell you right now, I ain't
first-
throwing shit in the trash.
Right. But I'm saying you go 2 first, you'll enjoy, once you take 3 off, you'll enjoy this bite more, because there won't be like if you go 2 right now, then you're gonna get in between 1 and 3, so little stuff hits the cheeks a little bit.
Yeah.
To where if you cut this down, you're gonna have nothing but green grass in front of you when you have 2 left.
So logically, I understand what you're saying. My brain in this moment, my brain might just get wiped with that 2 just staring me down. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Because I'll look at it and be like, I gotta get that.
Yeah.
I'm salivating right now just looking at it.
As a guy who eats PB&Js every day for lunch, I set myself up for that. Take that 3 bite, so that 2 bite is even bigger, and y'all know I can take some big ass bites. So
Can I be honest with you though? If this is a PB&J, I'm leaning more towards 3 because I'm thinking about jelly spillage. This is
Right.
ham and cheese. This is a more solid.
but you
little
still
product.
like, I'm sure you can assume that there's probably like mayo or some sort of sauce on there, and like you take that 2 and you try to get too deep in there, you're gonna get that on the cheeks.
Yeah, not bad. My kids are still in the phase where they just eat down the middle of the barrel the whole time. I'm like, yo, what are y'all fucking doing, man? They'll
They just
go,
have 2
that
pieces
shit's
on the
wrapping
side.
around. It's like touching their ears. I'm like, guys, fucking go on a side mission for a second. I get a side quest on this sandwich. All right. I hear what you're saying on 3. I'm probably still going to go 2. I love to be like, yeah, you are right. I'm probably still going to go 2.
Yeah, I see 3. I just want to do 2.
Yeah, you just want it.
I don't think y'all
I
are
want
wrong,
it now.
but
It's my money and I want it now.
I'm doing 2.
We feel good, boys? Let's get into this Sean McVay episode. Incredible time. We kind of hit it in the beginning of this episode. The motivation. This man talks for so long at some points. He'll ask himself questions and answer them. And you might think, oh, that's a little, no. That is exactly what you want when you're doing a podcast, because everything he said, there's no fat to cut. Absolutely incredible. We get into the Ty Simpson, the Matthew Stafford conversation that happened on draft night. We get into his trials and tribulations of what happened, peaks and valleys of his career, where he thought he went wrong. The conversation that took place about him possibly going to the media world, how he felt about that at the end when his wife checked him. So all that, be ready to enjoy it. Subscribe, comment. Boys, we love doing the show, and it's all because you guys watch the show. Thank you so much. Will, any last thoughts?
No, just that this interview is brought to us by the ice cold Bud Light. 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Just like there's no doubt in my mind you guys are going to absolutely love this interview the same way you love an ice cold Bud Light. If you want to find a Bud Light store near you, you just go to www.budlight.com/locator, and you will find the store closer to you. But let's get into it.
Let's get in the episode.
Ice cold Bud Light with ice cold Sean McVay.
Come on.
We interrupt this interview to shout out our sponsors. The first one being Neutral. Neutral tastes great and tastes so much better than anything else that's out there. Neutral's made with real vodka and real juice. That's what makes it taste so great. Neutral also comes in a variety of flavors like pineapple, watermelon. Their new flavors, peach and blueberry. It's perfect for social occasions because it's such a crowd pleaser. The weather's warming up. Think patio, backyard hangs, day drinking, golfing with the boys, beach, lake, weekends. Go find some Neutral. There's on-premise bucket deals that are perfect to celebrate being outside again, aka time to find a bar with a patio. So text the group chat, grab a bucket deal of Neutrals, and kick it with the boys. It's the perfect time of year to grab a 12-pack of Neutral for the game, or grab a bucket deal in your favorite bar as you root on your favorite team. Neutral, Keep it tasty.
We are also brought to you by Form Energy. Form Energy delivers best-in-class taste with natural flavors and zero sugar. Form Energy has natural caffeine derived from what? Green tea. Form comes in a variety of flavors. We're talking about Screamin' Freedom, Grape Smash, Blue Blitz, and Orange Fury. It's perfect for those who put in the work. This weekend, we had very little hours of sleep. What we do this morning, we woke up, we knew we were attacking the week. You pop a Form Energy, you get after it. You don't make excuses. Form Energy, we do the work, and we're getting back to this episode.
We have special guest, incredible guest joining us today. Youngest head coach ever hired, youngest head coach to ever touch the Super Bowl, youngest head coach to ever win the Super Bowl, Bachelor of Science in Health and Sports from the University of Miami, Ohio.
Nice.
Is
that what it is?
Offensive Player of the Year.
I wouldn't even know that.
Offensive Player of the Year, 4A Georgia over Calvin Johnson. Everybody, give it up for the one, the only Sean McVay.
Oh man, that's a hell of an introduction. You know, it makes up for you waiting this long to invite me on. You know, I mean, true or not true. I mean, he acted like, oh man, you know, they said no. My number was the same. It hasn't changed. I thought we were boys from the jump back in Washington. I'm watching everybody else come on. I can't even get an invite.
There was
your team said no. Your team said no a couple
There was
years
something
ago.
weird that happened a couple of years ago when we came out here, and we ended up doing the Chargers and the Raiders because they were doing a joint practice.
Yeah.
And Will's telling my boy Sean, like, yeah, he was at the Redskins. This happened. Think about this tree. Look how amazing this is. Like, oh, that's awesome. Let's get him. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, he declined. That's the story I heard.
And you
at
know,
first.
I felt some type of way whenever that went down.
Yes, yeah. Because the story I heard was
right. But
reached out to the Rams.
How often
McVay
with
said
your
no.
boys? Okay, so you guys been doing your thing for a while. Hey, when I connect or when you guys have your boys on, how do you guys get them on? You text them directly?
You text them directly.
No
Coach?
question. That's yeah.
And we talked about
no
that.
doubt, no doubt.
We talked about the game.
Let's
of common
acknowledge
sense.
that. Now we can move on and enjoy this. It's long overdue. Good to be with you guys.
How long do
Well,
you
you
think
should have
you'll-
signed me when I was trying to come to the Rams back when I was a
Well,
free
see,
agent.
that was the thing. You didn't hit me on that either. Maybe we would have.
That's
got that year 10.
Would you think you would have signed him? You would have got it done for him?
Oh, hell yeah. This is my kind of guy, though. I mean, I will say this. It's really cool to be able to see all the things that he's done and what you guys have done. But as a player, as a person, there was just this energy this guy had and this charisma where there's certain guys that are glue guys and they've got the ability to be able to bring people together with their authenticity, their consistency, the way that they go about their business. Those are the kind of guys we look for. That's what he was, you know, even though he didn't invite me on this damn thing until about 10 years into this thing.
In 2014, is this the same Will Compton you're looking at now?
Better teeth.
yeah, different teeth.
Same.
We had some good times.
It's
man.
the same OG. You know, it is cool though. I mean, we all got families now and it's the best thing ever, but we did have some good times. I think that's what you appreciate when you look back on it is, you know, when years pass, you reconnect with certain people and it's like you can appreciate the foundation of that relationship no matter how much time goes in between. There's always those memories because that's what this is about. I mean, I'm sure you guys can say it as players. It's like, you know, the wins and stuff that it's about the relationships, the journey, who you become in the midst of that journey. Like that's the type of stuff you remember, the way that you impacted your teammates, you know, and that's, and he had a positive impact on me, whether he realized it or not, just us bouncing stuff off one another. And there were some challenging things, but when you watch people that inspire you because of the way that they handle those storms or any adversity or stay humble in success, like, you become the company you keep, and that's players and coaches in this thing.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
gotta
I
feel
remember.
it's got to feel nice to hear that compliment, huh?
It's
No, it
true,
does.
though,
I mean, I
too.
got to watch, like, this dude was a psychopath as far as, like, in the facility, studying all the time. Like,
What year?
finding
Just for the viewer, what year is this?
So my first year, my practice squad year was 2013. Then when I started to play, that was 14, 15,
Yep.
16.
So
were you still in Washington in 16?
16 was my last year.
Okay, yeah.
So then, because you were in Washington through 17.
Yes.
17 was our first year here. But, you know, those last 3 years that we were together, that was when Jay came in. We were with Shan your first year, and it was...
and you were having your rise. Like you and that young staff that's everywhere now.
Yeah,
like you guys just in the building operating around the clock all night long.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he just had, because we would talk about, I would tell him that I was interested in coaching. So we would talk about stuff all the time. Like he'd come up to me, he's like, hey, what would be your go-to, you know, there's like a minute left, it's third down, you're in the fringe area, and what's your go-to play? And I would just tell him it'd probably be like a cover one peel blitz, send the house, bring everybody at him, and we would just talk.
He didn't have that good of an answer then.
Yes, I did.
No, you know what?
And you came up to me and you
Cover
go,
one peel blitz. You didn't say that.
He
I'm
actually,
about to
no,
say
you
that.
know what? Hey, what do they say?
'Cause
Never
we would
let the
check-
truth get in the way of a good story. I give him that, but
we would check back and forth
No,
at the line
but
of scrimmage
is
with
true.
Kirk O'Thuggy.
no,
You
you know
should've
what?
just
I
let
do
Will ride
remember
with
that.
that.
But you know what was the best? We would make. I remember because he'd listen to all the calls and stuff. So we started putting dummy calls in because they had these read blitzes where he's audioing the inside backer to use the back based on the turn of the center. So we started just whole set in the center, or we started making fake calls. But I will say this: some of my favorite things just being the background with offensive coaching. Now you try to really just say, let's see it holistically. But I always appreciated, I wanted to see the game through a defensive lens. When you're presenting things offensively, it's like the people that I respected as much as anything, especially the players, it's like, hey, what do you see in there? Is this something that'll conflict you? And that was even initially just as a practice squad guy before he worked himself up, starting, having the dot and all those types of things. But there's certain guys that they just have a feel and they have an understanding where they have a capacity for the game that's at a different level. That's why, like, if you did get into coaching, you'd be a damn good coach.
Yeah, because I remember when you came up to me, we was in training camp out in Richmond, and he's like, hey, Willie, he was like, the biggest problem you'll have getting into
I
coaching?
remember this.
Yeah, you remember we were by the end zone.
The patience.
Yeah. And you were like, it'll be patience. It'll be knowing that you can't coach guys that.
What came easy to you?
Yeah. How have you learned that now being a head coach?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well,
what-
I would say
what
this:
were
I
things
wasn't
you-
as good as you guys, so I have more patience because what I think the toughest transition is if guys that do decide they want to go from playing to coaching is some of the things that come naturally, whether that's physically or above the neck. It's really just making sure because, what really came easy? I think there's a lot of instances where, I was a decent athlete, but, there is a patience, there's an understanding, and there's really a big sense of appreciation for what you guys can do, what you can bring to life, what you can show and how it can be replicated, or that, that kind of that unconscious competence athletically, that level 4 of learning that you don't even know what you're doing. It just kind of makes sense. That comes naturally to guys that could do it at the highest level. And so I do think there is a patience because coaching is teaching, right? And so I know that I'm at my best when there is a patience and there's an ability to say when a mistake occurs, all right, let's work through this together. And sometimes it's like when you are a performer at such a high level and the inside expectations you guys probably had on yourselves before anybody else placed them on you, it's really then, okay, when I translate to this or I transition to this, is that, patience going to be illustrated because those things came naturally to you and it's harder to have that empathy and that understanding.
Yeah.
How long does it take for you? Like, what's the line between patience and being like, hey, you're just not listening now? Like,
yeah, the things that are the intangibles are the things that I don't have any, tolerance for, like things you can control, like
Right.
consistent mental mistakes. You're going to jump off sides, but if there's a consistent theme of you're not keying the ball or keying the near knee of the tackle, whatever that is, or if we're not using the cadence the right way, if we're doing penalties, things like that. But physically, the enemy has a say. So I think you can feel it. That's a big thing about, being fortunate enough to go into year 10 now. You have a really good idea of like the kinds of guys that work here. The kinds of guys that they're intrinsically motivated. They're about it. They appreciate what this game is. They like the mastery of it. And then it matters because you can impact people in the midst of it. It's not just about winning and losing, but everybody throws the word process out, but do you love football and everything that comes with it? Your teammates, the work, all those types of things. And there are a bunch of guys that have been really talented in this league that you evaluate and you say, might not be a fit. I think fit and vision is such a big thing that we've really looked for players here. And sometimes you got to look at somebody and you say, man, this guy could be really good, but let's let him be great for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's been learned over time.
is there like a sliding scale between like fit and like talent and then the fit? If like the talent is so high, does it really matter as much about the fit or vice versa when it comes to
I think that if you do have high talent and the football character's right, then we'll fit you in. Let's not be dumbasses. You know what I'm saying?
We'll make it work.
But I do think the biggest thing is like I've heard it said before, production breeds tolerance. But I still think there's certain things that have to be those non-negotiables. Like what's your football character like? I think that more than anything, especially because of some of the things that I've gone through where I look back and I'm like, man, I did not like the kind of leader, the caliber person. I was fragile. I wasn't resilient. So really what's become even more important, especially with today's day and age, like how important it is to be right above the neck, like in terms of like that mental and physical toughness. You see it in like our team meeting, you know, the game honors toughness, but I think really like life and the game honors toughness, both mentally and physically. And so how many different ways can we measure that in terms of the mental resilience? You know, our guys, you know, in a lot of instances, you could say, all right, what have they been through and how did that shape who they've become in the midst of the journey? And like, it's cool. We go through like team meetings and I think you try to be able to acknowledge each guy individually, have a fun fact, you know, where we're building relationships, getting to know each other. But then as you go through each guy and you kind of have a personal message of appreciation and gratitude for each guy, the consistent theme is everybody that's been successful or had any sort of success, there's been some adversity. And maybe when you're in it, you don't see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. But if that can shape you and callous you the right way, growth demands that discomfort. And that's what I think is we're looking for guys like that. And you don't punish people that haven't been through adversity, but I also think it's really important for guys to know like, hey, we're in this shit with you though too. Like, let's build a relationship, but let's understand, you know, Chris Peterson, the guy that was Boise State head coach, University of Washington head coach, he's become a huge mentor of mine. I've gotten connected and our relationship really means a lot. And you guys think about in games, like some of the pressure situations, and I know both of you guys, how much it meant to do well and to want to be able to perform, you know, because of the work that went in, but for your teammates and being a part of that community that means so much. But then when a mistake occurs, you guys know it. And he always used to say to me, you know, I think it's really important that all our players always knew they'll never meet the enemy on the sideline. And like, I was like, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah,
and I'd like to think that the connection, the camaraderie, the enjoyment for each other's success, like that's what I hope you see when you see our group play. And that's the type of people that we're trying to identify. And there's obviously a prerequisite of talent that needs to exist, as you guys know, but that's become more and more clear, and that's become more of a non-negotiable, you know, to in a long-winded way to kind of answer your question.
Yeah, the not meeting the enemy on the sideline is just such a bar because
it's cool, right? Like
it's
it's
awesome.
visual, doesn't it?
When did you hear
player-
that quote? When did you hear?
Well, he told me that, you know, he said that to me probably a few years ago. Yeah.
Because you sit there and it's like, yeah, all the things, all the worries that a coach has about, like, I want my team to perform for job security, this, that, get a Super Bowl, all the things. But like the individual player, like we remember like every single game day, it's like the anxiety that takes place, the clock's ticking down, the 90 minutes is now, okay, we're getting up for the prayer. The anxiety is hitting the most when you have your hand over your heart and they're singing the national anthem.
Right.
You're like, I just hope today no one finds out that I'm not who I believe I am.
Yeah.
That you have that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And then you go into a game, first couple of series go the way you want them to, and then that next series it doesn't. And you're like, fuck, man. And you know, like everyone preaches goldfish mentality. You got to get on to the next play. And then you come off the sideline and a coach is berating you. Some guys, like if you're in the league long enough, you understand like, okay, I know what to do. I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
But that could ruin a guy's entire rest of the game. There's 45 minutes left in this game.
Yeah.
And it could just mentally ruin him for the rest of the time. And so for me, that's a lot because I just remember sitting there with a few coaches and then watching them go at players who maybe gave up a sack in the first series, which is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And then like second quarter, another sack. And it's like, clearly he's having a tough time right
Totally.
now.
Yeah.
Like why would
And
we
you,
can't
and
make
you
it
know
worse?
the player cares so much.
So much.
Like coming from Pelini, like Pelini would fucking get in our asses.
Yeah.
I remember the first preseason, like one of the first preseason games.
See what you just said? That would have got me a pause in a team meeting. Think about what you just said. You know, oh, pause, coach.
What
Please,
he used to
22,
get my ass. Yeah, he'd get in our ass. No, but I remember
Go
Raheem
ahead,
was
no.
the first coach to where
Who would you say, Raheem?
Raheem
Okay,
Morris.
gotcha, yeah.
It was like our first preseason game, and I missed a tackle. I think I was the curl flat player in cover 3, and I missed the tackle, and I just remember thinking, "Fuck!" Like they're gonna pause. They're gonna get my ass.
I'm just that's where I say stuff at a team meeting that I don't even, they guys take. I'm like, will you guys just listen? How old are we right now? I'm like, come on, man. What the hell?
Yeah. And I just remember thinking, like, damn, I'm probably gonna get cut. Like all these things, you're just beating yourself up because you're worried about going to the sideline and seeing the staff and how the staff's gonna respond because of what I experienced at Nebraska. I remember being over the sideline and my head was kind of down, and Raheem was like, "Comp, what are you doing, man? Get your head up. Like, who gives a shit if you miss that tackle?
Right.
If you miss it, just miss it on the outside legs because you got the hook curl player coming from inside out. Like, hey, we're all good. Hey, bro, you're good. Like, just get back in it." I remember thinking, like, damn, it's okay to miss a tackle in the NFL.
Like when
there was so much of a freedom.
That probably wasn't the message Raheem wanted you to hear.
I know,
you know
what I'm
what?
saying,
No,
as a
but
player, I was like, oh shit,
that's
like,
coaching.
Oh,
though.
they're all
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. That
Like,
is
to
that's
me,
good coaching.
what I thought was so cool, because I saw you told that story, and I remember when we were all together, but when Raw came on, and you think about it, and I'll be honest with you guys too, like when I reflect back on it, you always know who you want to be for people you love and care about. But like when I've been at my worst, the shit's been a lot more about me than I realize. And like you look back on it and it's like, you know, when I've gotten angry or resentful, you know, it's like, oh man, it's more transactional than it's ever been. And it's not transformational. And you're like, man, who the hell have I become as a result of the chase? And it's not anything personal, but it's like because of your ego getting in the way, like you think it really matters. And it's like you almost have to get over yourself and that humility. But man, you like who you are a lot more. Like, I think it's such a platform and such a mantle to be able to be a coach. And like when I've been operating at the best for our guys, you're really doing the things like where you're saying, man, I want to coach you guys the way that I would want you guys to play. What does that mean? Like, hey, let's fucking be courageous. What is courage? It's doing what's right in spite of your fears, or even if it costs you something. Like, hey, you got some anxiety before. The things that you care about are the things that's why in the locker room afterwards, man, that feeling of when we win that game and you know the amount of work that's gone into it and we're able to share in that experience, that's also why that fucking feeling in your gut when you don't get it, what that feels like. But you know what I tell our guys? That's called fucking living. Yeah. You know, the different, like most people exist. They're afraid to even put themselves in a position to feel that range of emotions that we get the opportunity to. And I coach from a place of fear in a lot of instances, and especially early on when we had some success, I actually became fragile. You became more transactional than transformational. You became a fraud where you know how to say the right things, but you're not really feeling it. And in a lot of instances, not all the time, but it took really going down and really having that 22 season to be like, man, I don't really like who I am. And there needs to be some real work on like consistently applying things where these are skills and tools that you can develop to be the person that you want to be as a person and as a coach. Yeah. And like being courageous, that courage is a strong word. But you think about it, it's like, okay, hey, raise your hand before we go out for kickoff if you're not feeling that anxiety. All right, now, what does that mean? Hey, we're fucking alive. Yeah. All right, so lean into that. And I think what ends up happening is when you do say, hey, I'm going to do the things that are courageous, that builds self-respect, and you start doing it consistently. You build a callus, you build a resilience where it's like, all right, hey, he might have got me that early sack. I can't wait to fucking respond. Or hey, or then I'm looking at, all right, hey, how can I help give you a nudge in the C area? Or what are the different things that we can do like with Raw? Like, let's solve the problem. Let's talk about what occurred and then how, when this presents itself again, we can fix it. Or let's just say, hey man, like sometimes I put guys in a bad spot. Hey, my bad, that's on me. Keep it moving. Yeah. Or like if it's a defensive beater, hey guys, you know, get back in the huddle and play the next snap. You know, they're not going to beat us consistently doing that. And it's like, but how can you believe it? And how can those habits and those core beliefs become like, that's just who we are?
Can I be honest with you? Yeah. Right, you're juicing me the fuck up. I love it. Like everything you're saying.
It's May 15th. Yeah. I got to peak at the right time. I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. You want to keep this a little more tempered, don't you?
But you know what though? No, because I fucking bring it every day like this.
This is every day, huh?
But what I will say though, Taylor, is cool is I'm passionate about this stuff because I look back on it and there's been a lot of moments, not always, but where you're like, man, what a blessing it is to get an opportunity to try to influence and affect positive change. And like I was talking about before we came on, like my heart has changed because I've been around a lot of special people, but because of my wife, Veronica, and having these two boys, you know, being a dad where, you know, in a lot of instances, before you have that family, you realize kind of how selfish, you know, it's your career ambitions. It's like I used to think it was so cool to do those things at a young age. And that doesn't mean I'm not grateful and not competitive, but I think there's just a healthier perspective on like, you know, to talk about Chris Peterson again. He said, if he got back to coaching, he'd have one sign: who am I becoming as a result of this chase? You know, and you think about that, like there's a lot of depth to that, but it's like, all right, let's identify the things that like when you're at your best or when you're the most lit up, what does that look like? And how can we consistently have those things that basically serve as a compass for what you want to be personally and professionally, and live a life like when at the end of the day, you're like, hey, it's not perfect, but we're living right or we're doing the things that we want to be able to do. And I think as you become more consistent, you build skills in that, whether that's being courageous, being present, being grateful. And like those things have been very personal to me because of some of the tougher moments when you look back and you're like, man, I didn't like that person that I was.
Yeah. When you're sitting, like, first off, this whole first part of this podcast has been Motiversity. Like I feel like I got the headphones in right now.
I appreciate
I'm going to
that,
attack the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind
There you
kind
go.
of right now, the way you're talking.
You're in the wrong LA right
Transformation,
now.
I know that. I know that.
It's
But
the
that's
wrong head
my
coach in
guy.
LA.
That's my guy. Go Blue.
But he's the man too.
But so you're talking about all these things that you've identified about yourself, the 2022 season. I like who I was in this piece of adversity. The way this game goes is like you're always on to the next thing, and you have very little time to reflect and be like, okay, where did I go wrong or right? How did you like get to this point you are now, where you're 10 years in? And when did you learn to identify these steps of being like, yeah, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
And then what type of work had to be put in? Because it's easy to sit here and obviously we're not all finished products, but you've had a massive success. You've done all these things. There's a lot of coaches that are looking at you right now.
Sure.
And you're saying all this stuff. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to be that.
Yep.
And it's easy to put some headphones in and be like, for this moment, for these 15 minutes, I'm listening to this. I can be that guy.
That's right.
But how do you identify when adversity is really striking and you do feel like shit? And there's a piece of you that's like, kind of want to get that feeling like I just want to take a nap and kind of make sure this shit goes away.
Yeah.
Like, how do you identify and then attack those things to get you to the point the way you're talking right now?
I mean, that it's such a good question, Taylor, because here's what I would say is I get an opportunity to be a head coach at 30. And in a lot of instances, there was this youthful arrogance, but this, like ignorance is bliss, where, man, you don't know the things to worry about as you accumulate experiences other than, man, I'm grateful as hell to have the opportunity. We're going to come in, we're going to swing, and I'm just focusing on football and these players. And it was really pure that first year and really even into the second year. And then we lose a Super Bowl. You go to the Super Bowl our second year, February of 19, but it was the 18 season. And man, that was a humbling night. And it was too big for me. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, I didn't see the game. I didn't adjust. And I feel like I cost a lot of people. Like, I feel like I was a significant reason that we didn't come away on top in that game. And that's made me better. But as a result of how that I felt in those moments, the lies I told myself were, I won't be happy until we win a Super Bowl now. Mm-hmm. So then you're this maniac going into the 19 season, and we won 9 games, but we actually missed the playoffs. That was when they still had 6 teams. And, us in Pittsburgh, I think, were the only teams with winning records that didn't make the playoffs that year. And I was off. I was edgy. Go to the 20 season. We have a decent year. We end losing the divisional round to the Packers, but you're still, something's not really right. Not all the time, but it's like, you're becoming a little bit more transactional without even realizing it, but you're off, but you haven't had real adversity yet. And then you end up, winning the Super Bowl. And what was special is there was a lot of moments where the best that I look back on, it wasn't about winning a Super Bowl, but it was I wanted it for Andrew Whitworth and Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford and Higbee's, Rob Havenstein's, Odell's. There was a lot of Jalen Ramsey's, like Weddle coming in that last little month. And it was really pure when it was about other people. And then you look back on it and then you win a Super Bowl and it was special. It was really special, but I think there wasn't probably the appreciation or the gratitude of like the relationships built in the midst of that journey, and then you have that success, but you really hadn't had any adversity through those 5 years. You lose some games, you're navigating, but that's not real adversity, professionally. And even what I'm about to say, like, losing and winning games. I mean, people deal with way bigger stuff in life, right. But to me, it was a big deal. So then you go 5-12. And my identity, whether I realized it or not, was so fixated on winning and losing, that it was like my self-worth. And in a lot of instances, I struggled with that when I was playing too, where like your self-worth is based on your production and you kind of lose sight of like what really matters to the people that matter. And how can I make sure that I'm secure and steady enough that like the people that I really want to please are the people that love me unconditionally. And like, what are the things that I can control that allow me to live a life where I'm improving, but I'm also secure enough to be the person that I want to be. And I wasn't that. But it took that 5-12 year where you're really getting broken down. And I'm almost quit coaching. And you could use the narrative that I was going to go to media or whatever, but like the truth would have been I was quitting because I couldn't handle the losing. It was almost like a scarlet letter. you know, and there was some cool moments of guys overcoming it or whatever, but you look back on it and you're like, you like the person that you were when you think about it? Like, no. I mean, there was moments that you think about it, it's like so crazy to me. I was like counting down the days for that season to be over. Like, what a fraud, you know? And then I can remember this. There was an opportunity because, you know, we had the Super Bowl win, and then we kind of kept a lot of the continuity in the 22 season. And we had gotten ourselves financially where we had to kind of straighten out the books, and we were going to have to release a lot of good players after the 22 season. And we had a bunch of injuries or whatever. I'm not even necessarily talking about the 5 and 12. I'm talking about like who I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that person, but it took the results to accompany the work, where you're really saying like, you know, you read about books or whatever, but like, you know, you weren't really built to handle this. And you didn't apply the skills on a consistent basis to say like, I don't like who I am and it's going to affect me personally and professionally because my identity is so tied up in something that really, it ain't about you. And you end up being able to say, you get connected with Chris Peterson. My wife was a rock, my family. But I mean, I have such appreciation for like, you know, coaches, ownership, the support of friends, the Andrew Whitworth, you know, guys like John Gordon, you know, just being around a lot of people that were able to help kind of shape the perspective of like, you know, I think you'll regret it if you step away. And there was a lot of instances where you're thinking that next year, because of the decisions we're going to have to make, you know, it would be easy because the odds were we weren't going to be a very good team. And at least that's what everybody would tell you if you want to write your narrative before you even allow yourself to go attack things with courage, for lack of a better word. And I'll never forget, though, I remember explaining the situation to my wife, Veronica, and she is so tough, so steady, so loving and considerate, but so real to me. And she's so so independent, you know, born and raised in Ukraine. And you talk about real perspective from what her family's gone through and how she's handled it. But I was explaining to her, you know, maybe I'll step away. It's going to be a really tough upcoming season. You know, maybe
so
even
the situation you're explaining to her is like here are my options on the table.
Here are my
Got
options.
A massive media deal.
Had some media stuff. You know,
How
and
massive
then
we talking? We talking Tom Brady massive?
No, we're not talking
info,
about
hey,
that.
listen, I'm just trying to gain perspective.
I'm just telling you, the info's out there.
Is it?
No, that was after you win a Super Bowl. That number lowers after you go 5 and 12. You know, but I'll say this though, you know, you had some opportunities, and if I had done that, I would have conveniently hid behind that. But the reality is, I would have been quitting. You know, and I'll never forget. I was explaining this situation to my wife, and basically, I was trying to rationalize and justify why I should do it. And it's like, okay, let's step away, maybe even come back to coaching. I was like, we're going to have a lot of tough decisions to make. And it coincided with her being pregnant with our oldest, Jordan. And I remember I was explaining it, and she just kind of looked at me, and it was very loving and supportive, but it was like, man, this is only coming from your wife, where it really landed the punch. And she's like, you know, that never really sounded like the kind of leader you wanted to be. And I was like, boom. And it was awesome because
how did you receive that in the moment?
You know what?
There's a lot of different ways.
Here's what I would say. It landed the punch because I'll tell you what, I was like, wow, in that moment, I know she loves me unconditionally, but the love that we foundationally had for each other started from things that we admired and respected. And this wasn't one of those things. Now, that doesn't mean she loves me any less, but it's like, I'm going to help you remember and remind yourself of who you want to be. And I remember in that moment, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I also remember thinking to myself, the most important thing I've always wanted to do was be a father and be a husband. And I'll never be able to look at my little boy when he grows up and goes through adversity and say, do as I say, not as I did. And that was when immediately you're like, I'll never be able to live with myself if I did this. But it took a lot of work, and I am not perfect by any stretch, but I like the person that I am a lot better than the other person because I have people like my wife and so many people that inspire me to want to be right. But, you know, like I mentioned, Chris Peterson, he was a huge connection for me because he went through some similar things where you're maybe having this success, but you get misguided in regards to like your priorities, your perspective, societal scoreboard, as opposed to your personal scoreboard that really lasts. And then, by the way, when you really lean into that personal scoreboard, you know, those other things usually have a way of taking care of themselves, but it takes work. It takes an understanding of like, who you are, what kind of skills do you need to be able to develop in terms of your self-talk, recovery habits, the appropriate perspective. You know, I don't know that I believe in the word balance, but being able to prioritize things, you know, and being present and being grateful, being courageous. And, you know, it's been a journey and it's a never ending one. That's what's different about, you know, winning and losing a game. You go prepare, you play a game, there's a result, on to the next one. Well, this is really like, you're always becoming what? A better person or a better version of it. And it's never linear. You guys know, I mean, success never goes like that. It goes like this, you know, and that's what's been cool about it. But all in all, it was the 22 season where you really got broken down. You're really able to be around people that supported you unconditionally. And then you're forced to put the work in to say like, all right, now there's some real evidence of, I don't like this person. And you got to be able to make a choice of what kind of life you want to live.
I love that story too with your wife, because whether or not you like
Isn't that cool though?
Question, it forces you to look at yourself as closely as possible.
Yeah.
To identify all of these things.
And it's like, you think about it, right? And I bet you guys have this type of relationship. The people that I love the most, like I think one of the biggest flaws that I had when I was early on in our tenure is, you know, especially being a young coach, is like that balance between being liked and respected, you know, and leadership is inevitably lonely. But what I've realized over time is you have to make a lot of tough decisions and have a lot of tough conversations. But that's part of being courageous as a coach, is loving people enough to keep it real with them. Mm-hmm. Because most people can handle it. What most people really get pissed off about is being caught off guard, you know, and as long as you can really say the foundation of everything is trust. And so you need those truth tellers. That's what Veronica was for me. You know, do you have those truth tellers? And I think about all the impactful relationships that I have, it's people love me enough to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And sometimes it's hard to hear, but those people that are really special, they have a way of disarming you in the midst of giving you hard information. Like Veronica said it in a way that it landed the punch, for lack of a better word, in terms of, it wasn't like, oh, wow, but it was like, man, I want to be better for her and for Jordan. And like, that's not the person that she fell in love with. And that's not the person that I want to be. Yeah. That's a cool thing, where she inspired me to want to be better. And then you start to realize like, man, when you have hard conversations with people, that's represented some of the biggest breakthroughs in relationships that I have, whether it be professionally or personally. And I look at it, it's all the same, you know, because we have to make a lot of tough decisions. But what I would hope that guys say, and like one of my favorite things that I hear people say about here is it feels like a collegiate atmosphere. You know, guys really enjoy being here. You know, like we got around the building like urgent enjoyment. It's like, yeah, there's going to be some urgency. Like we're not fucking around with our football, and anything that's worth it takes hard work. But I do believe this, it can still be enjoyable. Easy? No, not easy. But we're going to work hard, but man, we're going to enjoy the shit out of this blessing that we have. Mm-hmm. This opportunity to be at our best every day, this opportunity to be present, to be grateful, to be courageous, the enjoyment of each other's success, the enjoyment of the challenges that accompany it. You know, so then you start reframing like, all right, I got that anxiety, or if I get beat, all right, you know what? I can't wait for that next snap. You know, that setback, that's a setup for me to come back and show what I'm really about. And so like, how many ways can you look to celebrate courage in a manner that's reflective of like, hey, calling people up, not out. And then you start to build that callus over time. And that was like one of my favorite things about last year's team. We came up short, and Seattle was an awesome team, but we had a lot of hard losses last year where it was, you know, like the way that those games went down where we lost. I mean, you look at our first loss this season against Philly, that was wild, but our guys were resilient. They were courageous enough. Let's get up off the mat. Let's go swing again, you know, and you're going to have to kill us to put us down. But we were courageous. And I'd rather us fail valiantly than succeed and be passive, you know, because that's not how we want to live.
Yeah.
Die with honor.
You know,
There's some of the game you brought that Eagles game, kind of nuts the way that all went down.
you think?
Yeah, that was crazy. The Thursday night game against San Francisco,
that was crazy.
Yeah.
But if you really go through all 5 of our regular season losses, I mean, they were all like, I mean, they just gut wrenching,
head scratchers.
You know, but that's
Two
like
field goal blocks.
I Surely, when we
Hey,
got
and they're
inside,
up like
when we got
24 to-
inside of
24 to
40,
nothing at
no,
like
you know what?
halftime.
We ran the ball
Shut
on
'em out.
first and
And
10.
this is where this
we
is
ran
peak
it.
Taylor
we
and
ran
Will
it
hit
on
the
first
Eagles.
and 10 to get to
Peak.
2nd and 3 because I'm like, all right, we're good. And you get it. I thought to myself, man, I must have taken a Quaalude because this can't be real life I'm watching right now. when I saw that field goal get blocked. But I'll tell you this though, that shit sucked in the moment. But our group used all those to callous them the right way, and we came up short. But like, that's one of my all-time favorite teams. Because of the way that they competed, because of who they became, and we've got a lot of continuity. And but you got to come together as a team again. Like that's what I get a kick out of. With the schedule coming out. Oh, this is a tough schedule. When did you guys ever play an easy schedule in the NFL?
Never.
Right?
Never.
And it's like
And
every single
all the
year.
all the ones you're like, okay, this team should be. You play the Jets when the Jets are having, or the Jaguars are down.
Yeah.
You're like, all right,
way
this
it
should be. And then
unfolds.
you end up fucking losing.
Totally.
And you're like, how did that? They were supposed to suck.
And your coach, you kind of break it down 4 games at a time.
Yeah.
4 game seasons at a time.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, great schedule release on your guys' part. Shout out to the Rams social team.
I didn't see it. What'd they do?
It was kind of like a Napoleon Dynamite
Nice.
schedule release. It was you didn't see your teams?
I did not.
You see the
Artist
Chargers?
didn't show it to
You
me.
knew what the
I'm just
schedule was.
kidding. I knew what the schedule was. The Chargers, I mean, they don't pull any punches.
No.
Can I ask you this? Have you seen Napoleon Dynamite?
I have seen Napoleon
What's
Dynamite.
your take on that movie? You think it's a good movie?
I would say this. I think there's
Yep. Okay.
How old-
I'm
how old are
already-
you?
that
already
type of
with you.
humor.
I am on your
now,
side.
there's certain parts, but like that type of humor typically doesn't resonate with me.
Hey, can I be 100% honest?
Yeah.
We were driving from the airport last night. Napoleon Dynamite
Cold
came
take.
up, and I
Cold
go,
take.
"This might be a cold take." I don't think it's that great of a movie. It's
Yeah.
not that funny.
No.
That's a clean
Like the
take.
Uncle Rico stuff, that's
That's a
kind of
clean
funny
take.
because of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
athleticism. But
There's
the
funny
other stuff,
moments.
it's like, and I'm not diminishing people that think that's funny, but it's like you choosing that. Nah,
So you don't think Rex is funny talking about a roundhouse kick to your face and these bad boys?
That's fun. That's a funny
See,
moment.
which one?
He's got the
Rex,
American
where
flag
he goes
pants
into the
on.
karate, he goes into
Yeah,
the
I don't
mixed
mind
martial
yelling.
arts and doing like he's like
I don't
having a
understand the
moment that
other.
Rex is teaching him.
Clearly,
Yeah,
Rex
Rex
didn't
Fondo.
resonate with me if I had to ask you about that part. Here's what I would say.
Wait,
That
give me your-
typical
give me
type
your-
of humor is not something that I'm like, like I think like Wolf of Wall Street, that's a funny movie.
Well, yeah,
That's a
that's a
great
great movie. But
Well, I mean, you just brought up
but I'm
Napoleon
saying
Dynamite.
that moment in time.
Yeah.
Also, Wolf of
That
Wall Street is
humor
not a
was-
comedy.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street is not a comedy.
Oh, hey, tell me there's some
you were
funny
talking about
lines.
some funny shit.
Uh,
How about
hey.
that Leonardo DiCaprio, huh?
You don't think that's funny as
No,
hell
it's a
when
great-
he's
it's- I
when he
think
took
it's
a
a
Quaalude
fantastic
and the
movie.
lemons hit late and he
And
thought
I
he
think-
made
Yeah,
it home
there's
without the
funny-
car
there's
being
funny
scratched.
That's
moments.
funny.
Hell
That's
yeah.
funny shit. But that's
You
like,
don't think it's funny when he
Yeah,
says,
about
"Hey,
what-
Chop, how about I chop your fucking
Sean, can I
credit
call you
card in
Sean?
half?" Like, what do you know about that?
What about
if
Wedding
I look at
Crashers?
you and I'm like,
Great
hey,
movie. Like,
Okay,
see
okay,
that
okay.
type of humor. Hey, now we're speaking the same language.
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite. I'll see you after the movie, man. Let me know what we're doing
okay.
after.
That's a
Time
clean
out,
take.
time out,
That's a
time out.
clean take.
I get it.
Shout
I get
out
it.
Kevin's Natural Foods for Sean
hey,
McVay's clean take right
clearly
there.
you could tell this doesn't resonate with Will, man. He's on
no,
edge.
no,
He's
no.
ready to.
I'm trying to
he's
put
ready
myself
to,
in your guys'
He's ready to
shoes.
vice tackle me right
yeah.
now.
Can I just say, wait, first off, Wolf of Wall Street. Hold on, Wolf of Wall Street,
Just let
not
me
a
get this off my
comedy.
chest.
Funny moments.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
okay.
get it, but see, funny
yeah.
moments. Yeah,
Funny
I get it.
Moment
moments.
off my chest.
But go
Just-
ahead,
I
go
just
ahead.
Get this off my chest. If Napoleon Dynamite, a humor like that came out again, I would think it was not good. Like that was like
Younger
just
you.
that moment in time. That's the only time a movie like that could come out that I feel like the world laughed at it.
Okay, what
Less
is
with it.
And I
I'm
think
glad you
that
allowed your
is. I
chest.
mean, there was a lot of fans of it, so I'll give you that. I mean, that is true. But maybe me and Taylor are a little different than you.
Yeah.
When he takes the
It sounds like
burrito,
Sean and I
Uncle
are going to
Rico
the
takes the burrito off the porch and throws it at Napoleon when he's
Not
riding
funny.
the bike.
Not
funny.
memorable.
Oh my god,
Dude, when the punchline is, it's just not that, it's like, all right, you've lost me. What is, if I said to you, Wedding Crashers?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, great.
Love
Phenomenal.
that.
Phenomenal.
Outstanding.
Best
If I said to
comedy.
you, The Other Guys?
Great.
Yeah, I like
Hold
that too.
on, hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
I
on.
do.
I didn't like that
Well,
pause.
I had to think about, but yes, I think like that's Mark Wahlberg, right?
Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell.
Yeah, like that. I thought that.
Anchorman.
Some yes, but like some no.
Okay, hold on now. Let's back up.
Yeah.
Let's just take a quick, let's put the brakes. Anchorman 2, I understand that expression, but one's incredible.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So you know the movie.
I do know the movie.
Old
Put it
school.
on the teleprompter. Old school.
What you know what's great is
Yeah.
every
hey,
now and then when I'm
here's the
having to
test.
do like a teleprompter read, and I could feel it's getting stale in the room, I'll be like, I'm fucking Ron Burgundy. People will be like, where the fuck did that come from? But he is no, that part, now there are some parts, but yes, for the most part, I thought that was that was a good one, you know.
That generation.
Yeah, but like then the same guy from Napoleon Dynamite, and he's a good actor, so I'm not. But like when he was in a movie with Will Ferrell where they're doing like the roller skating, not funny.
I agree.
What was that movie?
Hold on.
Blades of Glory.
Oh,
Wait.
Cold take.
Yeah. Time out.
That is one of the more underrated comedies.
Yeah,
ever.
I like Blades of Glory.
Time for some
hey,
Chazzle
clearly
Dazzle.
I'm
Dude,
the
that
outlier.
movie is so funny.
I didn't even realize that was the Napoleon Dynamite guy.
Is it?
Until right now.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Oh shit!
I
it
could be
is.
wrong.
No. Yeah, that's.
But so like I'm like, you know, maybe I'm saying I didn't like Napoleon Dynamite, so I can't say like, you know, that comes on and you're like, you watching that? I'm like, yeah, I'm not present for
To me,
that.
the Napoleon Dynamite was like lightning in a bottle at that time. That moment in time.
What movie? What is if you're like if we're gonna I'm gonna come to your house? I'm sure
Yeah.
you have a nice TV. We can watch a
Yeah.
movie.
For you,
We sit down. Probably a few TVs. We're gonna sit down. And you're gonna put a film on for us. What kind of movie are we
What
watching?
depends? I mean, like
No, no, no.
it's a
Yeah,
great
Wolf of Wall
movie.
Street.
You
It
can
is.
watch
It
that.
is.
You can
I'm
watch
with
that
you.
over and over again. I mean, it's
Napoleon
more
Dynamite,
like
the
that's
Wolf of Wall
not.
Street.
People aren't really watching as many movies as of late. But
How about TV?
TV.
Hold on. I don't want to go down the TV route. I gotta get a
What are
fucking
you guys
movie.
watching?
started to
What
lie.
are-
No,
what are you
dude,
guys
no.
watching right now?
Right now, I'll tell you this. I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones for the first time.
Were
What
you
do
a
you
Thrones
think?
guy?
Hold on. Have you not seen Game of Thrones?
I have.
Okay,
I've
but
seen
you-
it.
All of it?
My
You look
wife
really
really got
disappointed.
into it. Well, no, I would say this. To stay consistent throughout the whole thing was there were parts where, you know, you're kind of going back and it was such a my wife got into it, so I was watching it with her. But if you said like, do I typically love all that kind of, you know, those types of settings and scenarios, that's not typically something I would watch. But there was parts of it that I'm like, yeah, there's some cool stuff going on here.
You
It sounds like
yeah,
it was
listen.
too over your head.
Coach
It
McVay,
definitely
now-
was. Oh, listen, I am a dipshit. So,
Yeah.
so like definitely over
Dude.
my head is very true.
Hey, Coach McVay's the guy that's like Miracle. Remember the Titans, Friday Night Lights. Like those are the movies he.
Oh,
wants
I
to
mean,
put out.
He's sports.
Yeah, he's a sports guy.
I love
He's,
that.
he's,
He's
a,
probably
he's, a,
watching
he's a pure
Thrones,
blood. He's a
'cause
pure
you
blood in
have to
sports.
be. You have to be so present watching Thrones because it's just so
You can't look at your
there's so
phone when
much
you watch
depth.
Thrones.
But
Yeah.
you know he's thinking of plays. He's thinking about what we're gonna do tomorrow.
Right.
Like he
There
can't
are
be
some
there for
good,
Game of
you know,
Thrones.
there are some good shows though where you can kind of just get away. But I mean, I do like those kind of movies. I like a good little laugh. I mean, shoot, like it was funny. I got a chance to go to an Arsenal match. They played the semifinals of the Champions League at the Emirates. Our ownership group owns Arsenal. Went out there. That was a really cool experience. And somehow we came up on the topic of Ted Lasso, you know, and it's like, man, I've appreciated and enjoyed that show, but usually when I'm watching Ted Lasso, man, I'm pretty dark right now. You know, like I'm needing to feel better. I'm needing to pick me up,
Yeah, it's
man.
a dark show.
You know, I'm like,
Exactly.
it's just making. I'm
Looking
like,
for a
man,
quote.
I'm like, man, I'm having a tough time. Where's some
Yeah.
inspiration from old
Everyone's
Ted
got one of
Lasso?
those shows going through a breakup.
Yes.
Something bad's happening in life. He's like, I gotta put this show
That's right.
on right now.
You know, or like you referenced, maybe I call a duo play on 4th and 1 and we just get rejected against the Niners on Thursday night. Hey, you know what I'm watching Friday? Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. yeah, on that
That's
short
right.
flight back, watching
That's
Ted
exactly
Lasso.
right.
Hitting that.
A lot of good shows out there right
A lot of good shows.
There are, you know,
not a movie guy,
Paradise.
not a cinema guy. though.
Paradise is great. So you know what's cool about this?
Oh, here we go.
I've gotten to know Dan.
Paradise.
And
I
this is
got
where
to
I
meet.
bow out for the
No,
next 20
here's what's
minutes.
cool though. Paradise. All right. So Dan Fogelman, the writer of this show, he's working on an upcoming deal that's coming out about, you know, it's called The Land. It's about the Cleveland Browns. He's doing that. This guy's got awesome range. Kara Sneed, Les's wife, is working on it. It's currently being filmed. But Dan Fogelman is an awesome writer. Got a chance to spend some time with him. He came to our draft a year ago as they're kind of just getting familiar with, all right, how do we make this feel real and authentic? And Kara served as a, you know, cool sounding board on the set and on the show. Well, Dan was at the league meetings. He flew back with us. He flew back with me and artists. And it was cool to be able to kind of hear his story. And it coincided with us watching Paradise. And then I was a This Is Us guy. I mean, I'll do the emotional thing. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but he wrote that as well. So I've gotten into his shows and he's an awesome dude. And then Taylor Sheridan, I think the stuff that he writes
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
You
Are
know?
you a
He's
Landman
got-
guy?
A big landman. Like
Season
I
two,
love that.
Season 2 was.
It wasn't as good.
Come on,
well,
bro.
dude, the first season was such a banger. I mean, now, hey, there's some funny lines in that. Maybe not a human, maybe not.
No, but
you know,
one
a
line
comedy,
that
but
was funny,
Billy Bob
yes.
Thornton.
Yeah,
I
Billy
mean,
Bob's
those are
all-time.
some like all-time lines.
A lot of lag in season 2.
Hey.
Taylor Sheridan has a chokehold on Paramount right now.
Yeah.
Though his writing, he does an incredible job. And then
does.
he goes to the next thing, and then other writers take over.
Yeah, no, he's really good. I've
You
watched
can't tell
Yellowstone.
me, you can't tell me you're into the senior home
Which one?
The wife and daughter and Landman going to the senior home all the time.
That's outstanding.
No, bro.
Yeah, it's funny.
You know it lagged. You know it
Will
lagged.
hates women,
I get
dude.
it.
Little lag.
I get it. You got some relationships going.
Are you saying compared to year one?
Yeah, like, bro, we want the oil. We want the cartel.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
want the things like at the end of season 2 where it like started to pick up again.
That's
But a
true.
lot of lag in the middle. Too many dinners at the end of the episode.
See, the starts of some of those dinners, though, I got a kick out of Billy Bob Thornton and just, the other two guys kind of just taking it. And
But after the whole lag of the episode
still
goes,
see-
and then you see the dinner scene, you're like, well, we didn't
Dude, the
we
mom-
didn't progress at all. This
Watch
episode.
Hey, she's aged well.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah. Varsity Blues.
I'm like, man, we've come a long way. Look at that.
Yeah, look, you're back, and look, you look great. You look great. So you're not a big movie cinema guy.
I would typically
I mean, he's a head
no
coach.
because
Yeah.
you know what, I'm actually a big homebody. So my wife and I, like in the off season, we'll watch shows, stuff like that, and we're trying to we've gotten through like the Landman, did the Yellowstone thing. We're looking for a new show right now. That's why I'm looking for some recommendations.
That's a perfect Will Compton conversation for after the show.
Boys, we got a good crew. We'll get you set up.
Hey, have you seen
Entourage,
Entourage?
of course. I remember, me and Shula when we were playing. In college. We were watching Entourage on Sunday nights. Like that was when I was in college.
When you watch
playing
a
at
show
Miami of Ohio.
Entourage in college, you're thinking, how do I have this become my life?
It's unbelievable.
How do I become at least Turtle?
No, you know what's great is, and then you come out here and you meet these, and then you see like you're driving by some of those places, and it's like, man.
You get the theme song
Entourage,
playing in your head real quick.
Oh
You
yeah.
look up at a building, you're like, I know Ari's in there, motherfucking
That's
somebody
exactly
right now.
And I've met
Will got pretty quiet.
much all those guys except for Vince. But Johnny Drama's gotten to be, a buddy of, some of the group. I met Turtle and E and all those guys, and yeah, I was a huge Entourage fan.
Being in LA for as long as you have you been approached about possible cameos and dipping your toe a little bit?
There's been some
you got
stuff early on, like the Ballers thing, when they were doing Ballers,
The Rock.
getting to know The Rock and, and Glazer and those guys. But it's a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But that was not too much. Maybe Campbell's Chunky Soup commercials, though, huh? How about those?
Yeah,
You see those?
yeah.
17 grams of protein per can.
No free shout outs.
No free shout outs. But hey, grew up on Campbell's and Top
who
Ramen,
didn't?
man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now,
Top
I
Ramen.
will say this: when we first did it, we haven't done it in a while because when I did that the year before, and then they're airing those every year during the 22 season, I said I'm never doing this shit again, man.
Dude.
Every Thursday night game, it's just showing, and you just look like the biggest douche ever.
Yeah.
You know?
When there's a player who's having a rough go that season, but the season prior, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's probably going to be somebody. And then they're just throwing interceptions or really shit in the bed.
Oh.
And then like their commercial comes up. It's like, fuck,
Yeah,
buddy.
that's why
You can't get away from it right now.
Let's just stick to the speaking engagements in the off season. Let's not do let's not do that.
Did you see our cameo?
I didn't.
Man, your memory's not what they say.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's definitely not. I agree with that.
We had a Paradise cameo
Which and where?
it was season 2, episode
Couldn't miss
5.
it, really. Hard to miss it.
When like the mailman, the stalker mailman guy,
Yeah.
he's like watching it all go down and unfold, and they cut to the TV, and it's us on the Get Upset, and Greeny delivers a couple lines, and we're sitting there, and we
had to do
I
the
got a
take
little
3
head
times.
turn. I had to
Yeah.
I had to
Hey,
improv
sir,
a
can you
little
not
bit.
turn your head so fast? Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
We do a couple.
When did you guys do that?
October?
Yeah, because they wanted me to shave my head for it. So, method
Method
acting.
actor.
Yeah.
There
method
you go.
acting.
Yeah. You guys watch
Playing yourself. I love that.
Since we're talking about cameos,
That's how you know you
watch
guys are
reality
big
TV?
time.
You guys watch
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys watch Battle Camp on Netflix?
I'm familiar with it. I watched a little bit, but I saw. You know what? Here's the thing I would say. I
Handsome
thought the
host.
host was the shits.
Yeah. No, the shits. He said the
No,
shits.
honestly, I will say this.
He
the
said
only
the shits,
reason,
guys. That's bad.
No,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
no, it was actually a bad reference, but I'm joking. I did tune in because I saw, hey, Taylor Lewan hosting Battle Camp. I flip it on. I'm like, he's the man. Not sure about these contestants though, but congratulations to him.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Sorry to any
that's all I wanted
contestants
this.
on Battle Camp.
Clip that. Keep it for the portfolio.
How did you
boys
like
season.
doing that? I mean, like,
Dude, it was so
reach-
much fun.
Was
It happened it was 3 weeks. I kind of heard about it.
Yeah,
And then I kind of brought it to Will and I was like, this is kind of a thing maybe. And I did
Yeah.
one read for them and they're like, all right, you're the guy. you're getting on a plane in 2 weeks to Mexico City. And I was out there.
So that's where
for
you
a
guys
month-
filmed that?
For a whole entire month. But it was like Mexico City and then like an hour outside of Mexico City,
Yeah.
like up the mountain, cartel area. There was some stuff that kind of went down out there.
Yeah.
But like it was so interesting because it was just different.
Yeah.
And like being on set, all the contestants were already on Netflix shows, so they kind of knew what was going to happen and
Right.
how things worked. And then every day I was kind of like, it took me like 20 days to like really figure out, okay, this is kind of the schedule and this is what happens. But I'd show up every day and be like, hey, did you hear this happened last night? And then they'd give me all the tea and the drama.
So how
that's
much
taking place.
interaction would you have with them, or was it pretty much exclusive to kind of when you're coming in and
Yeah,
giving
it
them
was
direction?
so
on
like
stuff?
we do like a day shoot where we would shoot from like 9 to 5, where we do all like, you know, the events that would take place, like where they would be on the wall or whatever. And then I wouldn't see them again to the following night when we
Yeah.
would do the wheel ceremony where one of them would get eliminated.
Sure.
So the only time I really had interaction with them was when we were shooting. But we would do like, I would do my whole dialogue and then we'd reset cameras and I'd redo the dialogue. So there'd be like 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
of them like resetting things up where I'm kind of just like standing in a spot. And eventually I'm like, I don't want to just stare at you guys. So I got to know them a little bit and I was
Yeah.
like probably more engaging with them than most hosts who have been in the game.
But that's
it was-
good though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. It was one of those like, I don't know where I'd find time to do it again.
Yeah.
But
Most fun you
the
never want to have
process,
again.
yeah. It was the process that was like, it was kind of a blast. Just to
Yeah.
be like, oh, yo, I was a host of a Netflix show.
Right.
I think that was just, it was
That is
awesome.
cool. What's cool is you guys have done such a great job with this that it's opened up other opportunities. Like, I mean, when you guys first started this, because I was thinking about this before I came on, what was the kind of the thought process from the jump?
Oh, buddy.
And like, can you believe like where it is now? Like, how did it really originate?
Just to answer the last part of
Yeah.
that question is no. I personally never thought it would be what it is today. I just thought it was going to be like my boy wanted to do a podcast. I'm like, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
No one's
Well, you
really
guys were
doing
ahead
it in
of
the
the curve.
space.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
the thing.
yeah.
I wasn't
it's
aware
like-
that it opened up the doors that it's opened.
Yeah.
But it's like when I was in Washington, I would journal about like having a podcast because I love listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking,
Like,
I
what
felt like
podcast were you listening to at the time, though?
At
I
the
listened to
time.
Rogan, Ben Greenfield,
Yeah.
some comedy podcasts, Bigger Pockets, trying to get into real estate.
Sure.
Like I just love listening to people break down the ins and outs of whatever their field.
That
of
was the thing
expertise
that
is.
always struck me about him. He had range. Like, you know, where there was obviously a high capacity for the game, but there was some depth and range in terms of other things he was interested in. Like, and I was very impressed with that because I lack range, you know?
What's impressive about that too is like if you're an undrafted cat, like you would think like you need to be 100% involved with this, but being able to be successful in the thing that people basically said, hey, you won't be successful in, but to have the wherewithal to be like, I need to make sure that I'm diversifying my portfolio of like understanding real estate, understanding the different game. What about podcasts? That is a very impressive
Just
thing.
figuring out your interest because they tell you all the time it's like NFL not for long.
I didn't
Yeah.
listen
You're
to
not
that
going to
shit
be
at
in the
all.
game that long.
Totally.
Like when I was on practice squad, I thought that was probably going to be my only year playing.
Mm.
So I was always trying to figure out like what my next thing I guess could be. And then fortunately the career got going. And then when I started to think about podcasting, it was like all the conversations we would have, whether in
Yeah.
the cafeteria, the sauna, the weight room, the
Sure.
cold tub, everything that took place around football.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it'd be sick if we could just put microphones in front of us because we're always rocking the helmet. Like
Yeah.
it's always sacrificing for the logo, not the name on the back.
Right.
And I thought it'd be cool to just have like, hey, we have access to sitting down with people. Like he found the bus, we bought the bus.
That's cool.
But it was all about like keeping the locker room going.
Yeah.
And hopefully building something to where the locker room doesn't have to close.
Yeah, but like
That's
there
cool.
was also, I mean, it was very short lived, but there was a moment there where this was going to be a serious podcast.
Yeah,
Like
I think
a-
that was
like more of like a-
from things that like interested me. Like I've always been a ball buster, so it wasn't like it was always like in my head. I just started from that because I love like learning about like this entire show with Coach McVay would be how I would envision like sitting down with somebody, getting to know them, like
Yeah.
what makes them tick, what makes them successful, the adversities, the hardships, and everything
Sure.
else. But then the personality of it would still be like
Being able to have some fun with
being
it.
able to have
Yeah,
some
But
fun.
that's what's cool though, and that's like, and obviously I've watched, and we don't know each other as well, but I can remember, and even I'm remembering it as we're kind of sitting here talking again. But there's certain things and there's certain people you come across that, you know, my dad has this saying: interested people are interesting. You know, and you think about that, it's like, okay, you were always authentically interested in your teammates, and it wasn't like fake to be a leader or whatever. And then, you know, when you're interested in someone else, well, then to that person, you become interesting. And that was where, like, you know, like I love to teach in acronyms, and like GLUE to us represents great leaders unite everyone. And he was a glue guy in Washington. And like, I think a lot of the experiences, but you think about it, those feelings of connection, camaraderie, and then like what sports represents for society in general, there's so many cool lessons that you can really learn and you can apply, that a lot of the same principles that allowed you to be successful, it's the same exact stuff. Because what is it? It's dealing with people. Like, and how do you help people self-actualize and become the best versions of themselves, but also like enjoy the journey a little bit, not take yourself so seriously, you know, have
the
some
moments
interest.
where you are laughing and like knowing, you're just making jokes inside, whether you're in the team. Now you're the head coach giving the speeches. So you're the guy where you can build some camaraderie with by talking about your ticks, your things that you kind of repeat and say, laugh about with the boys.
Coaches, players come in and impersonate you.
Oh man, we had an inside backer that impersonated me last year for Halloween, Sean Dolak. It was pretty good. You know, I was like, it's pretty hard to see, but pretty good right there, man. But it's the best. Like, and I think what I think is great though is like, you show me a great culture in any atmosphere and environment, you'll hear laughter, you'll hear enjoyment, and then they'll know when to be able to kind of lock in and do those types of things. But that's important. Like in those team meeting rooms, like, you know, you want, like, you hear some good laughter and things like that, you know, and finding that good balance. But like, I always want guys feeling like when they leave, they're excited to come back that next day.
How was it for you when you're first hitting the team meetings? When you get in, you land the job.
Oh man, I was excited.
And you're
about
the
it.
guy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was really cool that I look back on now, and I didn't appreciate as much at the time, but I'm so grateful, is the autonomy and really the trust that Jay gave me when I was the OC in Washington. What do I mean by that? He was secure enough to give me opportunities to be able to lead. And even though you're not necessarily addressing the team, he's giving you a chance to really, even though he's an offensive head coach, lead and address the unit. And, you know, these are things I've always been passionate about, like leading, and growing up in a football family. My dad, you know, is one of the best leaders that I've ever seen. I had a lot of really cool influences in the midst of that journey, but it was exciting. But I think as you look back on it and you really say, like, I'll never forget, you know, I'm a big believer in like people learn in bite-sized increments. And the goal isn't for like you to leave a team meeting and people to think, oh, you sound smart. The goal is to communicate, to connect, and making sure that, you know, you're able to reach guys that have high capacities, but also make sure that, like, hey, when we leave this meeting, like, is everybody getting the 3 points or the key things that we're really trying to be able to get across? And like, I ripped through a culture thing our very first team meeting. I mean, I'm practicing the speech. We were staying in a hotel at the time because our house wasn't done. I'm practicing my opening speech, you know, with my wife the night before. And I mean, I fucking ripped through like 20 minutes, you know, and you could tell, you know, it's like, man, I was excited. I've been prepared for this. I gave a lot of information. You leave the meeting, you ask people, hey, what'd he say? I don't know, man. He sounded smart. Well, that's a fucking bad meeting then, you know? But it's evolved to where it's like, all right, hey, how do you make sure that you're more deliberate in terms of teaching, connecting, that give and take and that feedback? And it's been evolving, but man, I was excited. It was like, it's always been a blessing. Like, I've always really enjoyed the interaction with people, getting an opportunity to do some of these types of things. And I think what's really cool is going into year 10, there's a lot of other things now that have come into place that I have even more enjoyment for, that you just can't replicate in any other setting.
How does it feel walking into a meeting room and looking at a guy like Andrew Whitworth in the eyes and be like, follow me, who's older?
Well, here's what I'll tell you I think is really cool. It wasn't about follow me. It was about, I can't wait to help us achieve together.
Nice.
You know, I heard Wade Phillips say this. Like, Wade Phillips, I look back at all the different, you know, there's a lot made about the different coaches and different, you know, players that we've had that come through here. But all of those guys, if you're willing to like open your heart up and like say, like, what can I learn from this guy? And I'll never forget this. And I thought it was so cool. One of the best traits that Wade Phillips had, this great humility about himself. Like, if you played for Wade Phillips or if you coached with Wade Phillips, like, you love this guy. But he had an authentic humility, and like, he gave trust to people because he gave them autonomy. And I walked in with his defensive staff, and I'll never forget him saying, hey, you don't work for me, you work with me. And I'm like, man, that's such a cool thing. And And that's what we wanted to try to be able to create. And I always think there's this narrative of like it's players and coaches separate. No. How can we be like this? There's inevitably, and I think there's some cool things that there's the separation and there's some tough decisions. It never gets, I still don't like every time I walk around or, everybody's laughing. I walk up, it gets quiet. That's never fun over the last 10 years. But, they say that with a joke, but there is some seriousness to that. But I think you want to inspire guys to want to come along that journey with you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important too that like I think the separator for the coaches and the leaders that I admire the most, because when things are good, it's really like, hey, how do we stay humble in the midst of that? How do we continue to be able to work and trust the things that we're doing, but stay humble in the midst of that journey? But like when you have adversity, like when there's storms, like I think it's so important that whether it's you guys or players, that they can look and they can be like, I believe we can get out of this. I believe this is temporary because I believe the people that are in leadership positions have a vision, have a plan, that there's an authenticity, there's a capacity, there's character, and there's a connection that are behind those things, and this too shall pass. Mm-hmm. But if when you're in those storms, if you're looking around and you don't have anybody where it's like, man, woe is me, we're never going to get out of it, like, that's why I respect and admire, when I watch leaders, whether that's players, coaches, or just leaders in any other space, I want to see how you're handling the tough times, because that's when I've been at my worst and I don't want to be that again. And that's when you're really like the separator's how you handle the storms. Yeah. I really believe that.
When you're as personal as you are with like all the players and everything, clearly like there comes a time right before the season where you have to cut off a lot of the fat of the team. How difficult is that for you? Because clearly you're a player's coach. You want to be around the guys. You want everyone to enjoy it. We work with each other. You don't work for me. All those things are great. But then there's times where it's like, hey, I've instilled a trust and a confidence in you, but now I have to look you in the eyes and you have to hand me your playbook and say like, you're essentially not good enough to be on this team right now.
No doubt.
Give them the whole, there's 31 other teams out there. Like, how is that for you from an emotional standpoint?
Well, it's difficult, but that's why it's so important for me to be able to first always start off with like, because then a lot of people would say, well, that's why you don't get close to guys. And it's like, that's why you and I will never be the same. Mm-hmm. I'd much rather build a foundational relationship that's built on trust, love. All right. And then I know inevitably I do have to make some tough decisions, but I think our guys understand that too. Like we talked about it earlier, like people, like you guys knew, you didn't need to be told when you weren't operating or performing the way you did. Your teammates knew. Like when you have something off with somebody, people have intuition and gut instincts. And usually if you're thinking it, they are too. But most people are afraid to address the issue. Here's what I would say. I heard the Oklahoma City Thunder coach Mark Dagnall say this a couple years ago, and I thought this was a really cool point. He was asked a similar question to what you just asked me. And he said, I think it's really important that you acknowledge the fact that, hey, my decision is I have to make decisions that are best for the collective. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. But here's why we're making this decision that's foundationally rooted in working to be able to give some context, not just saying because it's a tough decision I have to make. Well, give me some tangible feedback so that I can either improve or have a realistic of understanding, because if I don't know why I did or didn't make the team or did or didn't get a starting job. So I think that's where it's really important to be invested in all three phases. So there's a capacity to give some real feedback, but also acknowledge the fact that I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. But my first and foremost responsibility is to the collective and then the individuals. And the best is when you can check both those boxes off. But what I would always hope to say is that, especially over the last few years, people might not always like what you have to say in the moment, but they know you're going to get truth and honesty, at least from my vantage point. And I've seen like a lot of real relationships built in the midst of being able to deliver that, and where there's that trust. And, like Andrew Whitworth and I talk about this all the time. Some people that takes 10 hours to get over, some people 10 days, maybe some 10 months, maybe some even 10 years. But if the relationship is what it is, usually they'll come around and they kind of understand the parts of it. And I think I've gotten a lot better as long as I'm operating with the right heart posture to that person, with the empathy, the appropriate, authentic, explanation, but really, caring about these guys. They'll come back around. And if they don't, that's not my problem. And I tried, and it takes work, but I've tried to work on that, where it's like, okay, I love you enough. I have to make some tough decisions as long as I feel like I'm doing the things the right way. Like I'm super sensitive to what a amateur I was with the Goff situation, trading him. And we say, well, why do you say that? You want to talk about lack of courage, lack of clarity, lack of ability to be able to look somebody in the eye that you've had a lot of really cool experiences with and tell them, hey, not easy to say, but we might explore an opportunity to acquire Matthew Stafford and you'll be a part of a trade there. But instead, it's like, you kind of get frustrated, and it was more really about me than it was ever him, in terms of like, I had a lot of things that I needed to be able to work through, and I didn't handle that the right way. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't have made the decision, but the handling of it was exactly the antithesis of how I would hope to handle things moving forward. I don't run away from that.
Is it a thing that you're like delivering ideas and news differently, or you look back and you're like, okay, I was just avoiding some conversation.
Yeah, I think it's really,
you kind of just let the business take care of it, and then I kind of just sit back like, hey, this wasn't my
there's
fault.
a lot of stuff that goes on. I think the important thing is to operate with clarity for people, and it's like you say, okay, so what do you mean by that? Well, I was frustrated. Did I ever have the courage to really sit him down after that season in 2020 and really tell him, hey, there's a possibility that we'll explore, some avenues that might lead to you not being our quarterback moving forward? No. Would I do it differently now? Absolutely. Because I think the biggest thing that I learned that he was able to share, and I appreciate his honesty on all of that, and there is nobody to blame but myself, but it was really like, what did he not like the most about it? He was caught off guard. You're like, where did this come from? Because I didn't have the courage to really be able to communicate in the middle or in the midst of it. And so now it's almost kind of like you got this, whether it's, you say it's a good conscience on your shoulder of like, man, if you love people enough, you got to keep it real with them. And there's always this balance of, the empathy, but also more importantly, the honesty. Because you think about it, like you guys probably can think about people in your life or coaches you've been around, especially if they have the right etiquette and awareness on how to deliver it. It's like, man, I really appreciate knowing where I stood with guys. And even though he told me some stuff that was hard to hear, like I knew where it came from and I always knew where I stood. I think that's important. Yeah. Like everybody throws the word out like psychological safety, but like, I think so much of that uncertainty, that uneasiness, that anxiety, that leads, that comes from a place of like, where the fuck do I stand with people?
Right. It's the game of assumption. Yeah. Like you
That's
start
exactly
getting your
right.
own mind. You don't have the transparency
100%.
with other people. It's like, it's only human nature to sit back and be like, well, this might be happening. And then that this might be happening becomes this is happening in our brains.
Yes.
And that's just like a normal chemical thing that takes place to protect ourselves.
And you just said it. It's a chemical. Like this is what I've learned as I've really tried to lean in to try to be the best for people. There is science that backs that's how cortisol levels increase. Well, what does cortisol levels lead to? Stress, anxiety, rumination. Okay. All things that you do not want to operate with when you are performing or operating in competitive spaces or just being the person that you want to be. But how can we lean into those other things? Because these are things that we can control and these are skills that can really be developed. Like something as simple as, I give you guys this, all right? Like after you guys lost or had a bad game, what would you guys typically do?
Watch the film immediately.
Watch the film immediately? Were you talking with other people?
Oh, yes.
You would?
You would go to people and be like, hey, what do you think about this play? Well, I should have done this better. It's almost like,
I'd just be sitting
for
in my
me,
seat.
You would be by yourself, right?
By
so you would lean into your teammates?
For me personally, it would be like Ben Jones was a guy that, he was a center.
Stud.
He was
you guys were a fun
stud.
line to watch,
Yeah,
man.
he was a guy that knew everything that was going on the play from the defense side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. So he'd be a guy like, hey, on this play, and I would tell him the answer I wanted to hear. I need to get my foot a little bit more. It's almost like I need to get in front of the criticism in my brain because I had such a high expectation for myself.
Yeah.
And it was like the ego, the uncertainty of like, and this is a guy that I respected. I was like, kind of like wanted to show him, hey, I know I could have probably done this, right? Like, yeah, for sure. But it was like, it came from a place of like insecurity more than anything else.
But you know what's cool about what you did? So like, I'm like you, when we lose or whatever, if I feel like I let guys down, my typical thing is I don't want to put this negative energy that I'm feeling on other people. So I have a tendency to isolate. After a stressful competition, situation, performance, whether that's for players or even coaches, there's a shit ton of testosterone that's depleted during those stressful or those situations you put yourself in. The worst way that you can recover and turn over is to isolate. the best way is to spend time in community. There's like studies behind this. I was reading a book recently, and I'm like, holy shit! If you know,
What's the book?
It's called The Way of Excellence by Brad Stolberg.
Okay.
It's a good book, you know, and a lot of cool wisdom in there, you know, in terms of like the healthy perspective of like what is real excellence, and it's not what you would think, but it's having the healthy perspective, and then oh, by the way, you apply these things. But to your point though, even if you're saying it came from an insecure, you being able to talk with somebody that you valued their affirmation, their approval, and even just spending time in community, that was a healthy healing mechanism for you to be able to recover. Whereas like in my mind, I'm thinking I don't want to put my and that's the worst thing that I could do, you know, and then that leads to the cortisol, you know, you're not turning over. And so it's like now you really start to apply like, all right, there's some science that backs recovery habits. How do you influence and affect positive change with people? And when you know, like, hey, this isn't a matter of like opinion, there's right or wrong that backs this based on chemicals, like you mentioned. Well, let's fucking apply that then.
Yeah, and it's not just for football. It's like any relationship you're in. You need complete transparency from the other individual.
Yes.
Because when you have that, it's like I know exactly how you feel. Whether it's like you feel really good with the situation or really bad with the situation, at least now I have no assumption in the game.
And you have a piece, right?
Yeah, because it's like if I told you, hey, Sean, I think you've done a bad job coaching because of X, Y, and Z, and this is where you could be better, and this is how I feel about you in this moment.
Yeah.
It might not feel good, but you have zero assumption about how I feel about you right now.
Right.
And now that I've given you my emotions, it's not for me to hold anymore. Now it's for you to take, and you make the changes based on you.
Yeah.
And you can go about that. And now that's how you kind of grow together with whether it's the person you're in a relationship with, the coaching staff, us. Like it's how, to me, it's like transparency is absolutely everything.
I couldn't agree more. But like you think about it, there are skills to be able to like I think, you know, hey, why have you guys been successful? Very good communicators. You know how to connect. There's an authenticity in who you guys are. Well, delivering bad information or delivering tough information with the right emotional intelligence, those are skills as well. Yeah. Because there's certain because I think that it's so important to do that. But how do you disarm people? And like, hey, what's the biggest thing? Like you got to establish a care for somebody before. It's like we always talk about it. You got to connect before before players give you an opportunity to correct. And that goes for players, coaches, but like you said, in any relationship. And that's what I think is so cool about, you know, all of us, our foundations are in, man, this game has provided a lot of blessings to us. But when you're at your best, or when you've been at your best as a player, you apply those same exact things in your personal life, friendships, marriages, as a father, as a son, brother, whatever it is. It's consistent, you know? And that's what I think is cool is like better people make better Rams. And like when you apply these things, oh, you become a better player when I'm doing these things. And like that to me is what's been cool about kind of that evolution is like, yeah, let's make this about like, hey, you come here, I'm going to hopefully invest, and we're going to invest in you as becoming a better person. And you'll also become a better coach or a player. Do I know what that looks like for what we'll be able to accomplish and achieve together? There's a lot of stuff that's, you know, we're in command, but we're out of control of a lot of stuff. But let's really lean into those things, and let's be proud of who we're becoming in the midst of this together.
Yeah.
Some of your one-liners, man, are just out of this world.
Well,
you can see right now. Just because we're in command doesn't mean
now that's I got to give Ben Kotwika credit for that.
Yeah, but you
Ben
said
Kotwika in command, out of control. I was like, oh, I love that because such a good.
Was it adapt, improvise, overcome? Or
yeah, he had those.
Overcome? Yeah,
but like he
those one-liners.
He was a coach that both Will and I worked with, and he was with us last year and did a cool job for us. But he said, you know, we're in. They used to say this because he was a high-ranking, you know, military official, played at Army, you know, was in the Army and has some amazing stories. And you talk about real perspective, you know, but in command, out of control. So it's like, all right. What is that easy way of saying it? Let's focus on the things that we can control, and then really have the wisdom to not allow ourselves, you know, the things that we can't. Is that easy to do? Hell no. Easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah, dude, I loved Kotwika. He was a motherfucker.
But
when you got to know him, you just knew, like,
he had a great
relationship that we kind of still have. Like, we'll catch up probably once a year. But man, I remember
he's in Baltimore now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Baltimore. Shout out Baltimore.
Shout out Baltimore.
Shout out Ben Kotwika.
Shout out to Baltimore.
We tried to go to
Shout out Ben
Baltimore.
Kotwika.
Did you?
Yeah. It didn't work out for us.
Well, but you would have thought that about the Rams a couple years ago.
Well, we got an
didn't-
email.
I
we,
didn't
yeah,
have-
we got an email to say exactly why we weren't allowed to go to the Rams.
Will's called the scumbags. Yeah.
In quotes.
Wow.
Did you ever call the Rams scumbags?
No,
Ravens? Sorry.
no. Did I call
Ravens?
the Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on
I
record
think
out there
it's like
Is that alluding to what that
Crosby stuff.
story that was never really a big deal this past offseason?
yeah, that wasn't a big deal, right?
Yeah,
That wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, because I had experience.
It was like a deposition.
That's so
It was a
good.
deposition transcript of one of our
Like alluding to
podcasts.
stuff with
Will
past-
said,
I did
and I
not
quote,
know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, alluding
man.
to stuff with past players because Ryan Grant.
Listen, don't dig
don't
the
have to get
hole
into it. We don't
anymore.
have to get into it.
Just know that we would love to go to Baltimore and do some stuff when you guys will have us. We'll go with
Ryan
that.
Grant never missed a snap going into that physical.
and we will
Hey,
never.
now, he's going back in time. Going back in time there.
Yes.
From
What,
Tulane.
Oh, what I was gonna say is, you were alluding to clarity
Yeah,
with your starting quarterback.
that's right.
Fast forward to this past
No
draft
doubt.
when that decision's being
Well,
made.
speaking of stories, that didn't get much noise.
Yeah, nobody was talking.
You know.
We
Nobody's
had to
talked
dig
about Ty
through
Simpson
in this
getting-
and to find that anything about Ty Simpson.
I know.
Max
Is there a
Holloway, that-
part of you that's coming out in real time with thinking about
Oh shit!
the clarity with your starting quarterback when a decision like that is getting made?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, here's what I would tell you. You know, when you go through the draft process, and we're always looking, and I'm always thinking, okay, hey, and we collectively, how can we be the best for the short and the long term? And there's a lot of decisions that we make that, you know, on a year-to-year basis. And when you look at, okay, what are the things that we've had successful outcomes? Where are we currently constructed as a roster? What are the things that we need to do? But let's also not be naive to the fact that we have to plan for the short and the long term. And what does that look like to be able to say, like, hey, let's go get it right now, but let's also be able to hopefully sustain over a period of time and balancing that. And so what we do feel fortunate, you got the reigning MVP of the league. I mean, this guy's like a fine wine. He's getting better with age. And my relationship with him is really, it's special. You know, there's a connection. We're in a similar, you know, I mean, and even he's like a lot of the stuff that I watch him as a dad of these 4 beautiful girls or as a husband, he's got more experience in that than I do. But I think our personalities really balance each other out. Like it's a really cool thing that we have. And so I don't take that for granted, but I also know that he's earned the right to be able to walk away whenever he wants to. And when you're going into year 18, even though he had this incredible year last year, hey, we've got to also be mindful of, man, we are so lucky to have him doing his damn thing. But if he said at the end of next year, hey, this is it for me, he's earned the right to do that. You know, and for us, we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, then if there is an opportunity where you're like, all right, hey, let's get somebody at 13 that we really think can upgrade our team. We were able to address some needs in free agency, being able to sign Jalen Watson and obviously trade for McDuffie. You had a long snapper. You had Grant Stewart, who's a special teams stud, and he'll find a way to probably be able to contribute defensively too. But long story short, you got a lot of continuity from last year, but you're really saying, okay, there's some really good players at 13, but you also say this is a guy that, based on the film and some of the vetting that Les and his group did, you project this guy to, whenever Matthew decides, potentially be a starting caliber quarterback. And you like the body of work because of the way he was asked to play the position. Is it a short sample size? Yeah, it is. But it's easier to evaluate that short sample size because you're evaluating all parts of, all right, hey, in the drop back pass game, you're watching the 3-step, the 5-step, the 7-step, the way the field's distributed, the types of coverage contours he's seeing in the SEC are similar to what he would see. He's reading with his feet with a timing and rhythm. He's redirecting protections. He's getting under center and throwing play actions off 7-step, 1-hitch or 8-step, 1-hitch timing, and anticipating second level in cuts with front pad throws, making a little bit of plays off schedule. And so you're saying, you know, I like this. I like that it wasn't easy. I like that, you know, he had to wait his time at Alabama, and the easy thing, especially nowadays, would have been able to run away. I like that he didn't, you know, they lose to Florida State and the sky is falling and they find a way to be able to kind of have some resolve and they get into the SEC championship, and there's a lot of good things in the midst of it. I like the way that he responded when guys would drop balls and he didn't flinch, or when guys would give up, you know, an immediate free runner and, you know, didn't say a word except for, man, where can I be better? Those were the things that the tape communicated to me. But with that being said, was it an easy decision? No, because like, how are we always balancing? And I said this before, like if you told me that we could ensure that if we took a player at 13, let's just say it's a Mekhi Lemon, a Kenyon Sadiq, players that we really had a lot of appreciation for, or even a defensive player, Bain still on the board at the time. If you told me that drafting that guy would have ensured that we're going to show up at SoFi on February 14th next year and get a chance to play for a world title, I say, sign me up. We're taking that guy.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't work that way. And so, man, I'm hopeful Matthew plays as long as he can. And I don't take for granted how lucky I am, Will, but you absolutely sit down, you give clarity, and you can talk to him in a different way because of the capacity and the experience he has, and explain the thought process. And again, it's no different than those other conversations. And he handled it exactly like you would want somebody to handle it.
Yeah.
But he also understands. I mean, he's been in this thing, and even if it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly agreed upon, he's like, I get it. Because why? This guy can think from an empathetic perspective too.
Yeah.
He's respectful of the situations and the circumstances that I'm put in and that we're put in as leaders to make those calls. Do I know if it's going to be right? You know, we'll see down the line. But I know what I also am grateful for is having number 9 ready to ride and feeling as good as he does right now.
Yeah, dude, an unreal season.
Is that,
especially
did he do
with
his
the back.
thing?
Especially with the
I know
back
people.
going on
You know
in the
what's funny
offseason.
is
You talking about Ty?
You know,
No,
talking
no,
about
Steph.
so how about this though? This
Both
is
of them.
funny for you. We would go to some of these, you know, other teams where we knew other coaches. We're playing in London, all right, against Jacksonville. Matthew comes to me before the game. He goes, "How about this?" He goes, "How about talking to the Jacksonville staff?" Those guys are like, "Man, that's pretty cool of Sean to let you have off of camp and use a back injury, you know, to kind of do that." He's like, "The fuck you talking about, man? That back injury was real as shit. We were nervous as hell, man. I mean, it was a week before we're playing Houston. Everybody, the old A-Mortal saved him, but like that was real." And for him to be able to, you know, and that's where you can see these elite competitors. Like he had to make a decision where, I mean, what people don't realize is how close he and I sat down. It's like, hey, you know, this isn't responding the way that we hoped. Let's put you on temporary IR so we don't put this in, you know, where we feel like this anxiety of like having to hit a timeline to be ready to go. He hadn't taken any reps. Jimmy Garoppolo had taken all the reps. This alien decides, and you could just see it was kind of like, you know, he did some different things that was amazing that only he could articulate in terms of like, you know, unique treatments and outside the box thinking where he's basically going to a torture chamber for 48 hours. But then you could also see there's this mindset that's the separator in the greats, where he went out there and he was like, fuck it, I'm going to swing. And he did it, and then he never looked back. And then it led to him playing as free and as still as I've ever seen him too. Like there was an enjoyment, and I thought that resonated with the rest of his teammates, and it was really cool to see. And it was awesome to see him. And really, he's been him for a while, like, but I think it is cool, and he doesn't care about this stuff, but I think it is cool for him to get, like, the people that really know have always had a real great sense of appreciation for Matthew. But I'm glad that, you know, overall in the community of football, there's more of an appreciation for, like, there's no doubt that 5 years from the day this guy finishes, he's putting a gold jacket on in Canton because of what he does and the person he is. And but I know that's a really long-winded way of answering your question, but yeah, the clarity and sitting down, that was super important to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like, from
You
past
didn't seem
experience-
off at all that night.
I was steady as shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah, you were.
Calm
No one saw nothing.
happy, engaging, just
Yeah.
like right now, wasn't I?
When all the stuff started coming out, Will was like, I know Sean, like he seemed like a regular him. Seemed like there was no problem at all.
Yeah, he was like, seemed
It was an
like
issue.
it was, but I will say this, had I realized, like that was a miss on my part. And there were some other, like, you know, inevitably you guys deal with a lot of different stuff, right? Well, I'll never forget this. Mike Tomlin, you know, awesome. After I first got hired, you know, he called me, hey, man, congratulations, man. I'm really happy for you. Oh, thanks, man. You know, Mike T's calling me. He said, how's that tube over your head? I said, what you mean, man? He goes, that tube of shit that never stops flowing now that you're a head coach, motherfucker. You know? And so I'm thinking to myself, so what's the point that I'm making with all this? There are so many things that we're managing and, you know, unique dynamics that sometimes have to do with people, with what people assume, and sometimes they don't. those dynamics, and where I missed on was, hey, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Everybody makes the assumptions that that's exclusively what it's about. What is the truth is that going into that, it was, I'm like, shoot, what is the best way to handle this? Because, man, it's a cool, great night for Ty and his family. Excited, that we have a potential guy, but also respectful and mindful of the fact that I don't want this to be misunderstood. I'm super grateful that Matthew Stafford is our guy. And so I would have been naturally just a little bit more reserved, but then there's other things that you're dealing with. And so if you said, hey, if you had that over again, how would you be? I would have made sure that I was more, I wasn't being, I wasn't mentally resilient to be able to snap out of some things that I was bothered about that had nothing to do with what the interpretation was. And then I was also going to be more reserved by nature. But as a result of the combination of those things, I missed the boat big time. Mm-hmm. And what I felt bad about is it became a story.
Right.
And really that, it looked like Les and I weren't connected. That couldn't be further from the truth.
He's up there talking and you're kind of like,
that's right. Which is very different than any press conference that we typically do. And my vibe was off. We always talk about the energy. That was bad energy that night.
Bad
vibe.
Can't win them all. It's not gonna be
I
like
was
that
an
every
energy
single day.
vampire.
Yeah.
I had to let
Energy
Taylor
bus.
and I,
Good
yeah.
reference.
Energy
Good
bus. John
reference on that
Gordon right
book.
there.
Yeah, it's
that's
a good
exactly
one.
right, my guy. And then I felt bad, that it became a bigger story. And then the next thing, and then you go course correct, and then becomes a news story, and you're like, oh, what the hell?
I know it's tough when you
People are breaking down your phone call with him.
Yeah.
Let's go win, coach. Yeah.
No, that was. Yeah, hey, I'm excited to have you, man. But chill the fuck out. Hey, I love it, man. We're excited to have you, but it's like, hey, let's learn from Matthew, and then we'll see what's next.
Right.
I
He's
love
a good
that.
dude, man.
Yeah, I would say this.
We've just been
Ty,
fortunate to be,
Ty?
because he's like a Nashville
He's
kid.
a stud. Like he is, man, and getting a chance to meet his family and stuff like that. Like I really like his story. I like what I've gotten to know about him in a short amount of time, and like. It was cool. I got a chance to meet his brother. He's got a younger brother, and he's a pretty good player too. I said, so they come in the day after the draft and meet his sister, his mom, dad, his brother, and you could just see this is a cool family, and they got a great way about themselves and just a good vibe, and it was fun spending some time with them. And I look at his younger brother, and I heard he's a pretty good player. I said, hey, you're a pretty good player. He goes, thrown 100 touchdown passes in the last 2 years. So
let's fucking go.
I said, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
But Ty's got a nice humility, and here's what's cool about him is you can tell he is super grateful to come in and get a chance to be able to learn from one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, it's one of the luckiest things.
Just watch him go to work.
A lot of players want to come in, play their first-round pick. I should be playing immediately, but the fact that you have a Hall of Famer sitting in front of you, where you can sit back for 1 to 3 years and be like, I'm just going to learn. Soak up everything. So when it's my turn, all the mistakes that I would have made, I can fix through watching him.
And I think seen is better than anything you can say. Like no matter how good of a coach Dave Ragone or Nate Shieldhouse or, with some of the things that we're trying to give feedback to, there's nothing like being able to watch a guy model the way.
Yeah.
And how he goes about it and like the consistency of his approach. Like that's what makes him really special.
And the amount of reps he'll be able to get, because I'm sure Steph, he's got some breaks during camp.
Yeah.
He'll have a couple, hey, go rest
He will,
the back.
We'll
go hang out with Elatrosh, do your thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
But so he'll
Shout
get a
out
lot
to
of
Neil.
Dude, Neil is the man.
He is.
I am a huge fan of Neil Elatrosh. He is awesome.
As am I.
He
And
did this little
too,
knee
just
right here.
the little stuff we know about just our small relationship with Ty, like, you got McVay talking about Stafford's team, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you're a guy that's in Ty's spot, you just already know the deal and you know the game. Like,
And he's been
you know
through
the
it,
opportunity
sitting,
you have.
waiting.
Yeah.
And especially in the
That's
new
what I
landscape
like
of NIL
about that
is
was what I
incredible.
liked is like, Alabama, you talk about high pressure, where, everybody loves football. You get an opportunity and you finally now you've earned the right to be able to start and you play Florida State, and I mean, that was a big deal in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And then you look at what he went on a little bit of a run, but like, that SEC football and really in a lot of these college atmospheres and environments nowadays, you get a chance to really feel what it's like to handle a lot of those pressure situations that inevitably come up at this level.
Dude, and in the NIL area too,
This is
like,
crazy.
Have you noticed the
sat
difference?
behind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say,
interrupted you. Go ahead.
he sat behind multiple guys and didn't leave.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Where
That's
a lot
what
of
I
guys will
liked.
just go, like, because when we realized that we were we were kind of boys with him. Like he came up to me in Nashville at this spot called Boost Fit Club. Shout out Boost Fit Club.
Nice.
And I remember he was young, and he was talking to me about like waiting your turn, like the whole be a wolf thing that I've spoke about before. Yeah. But I remember listening to him and looking at him. I didn't know who he was, thinking like some white boy talking about.
When was this?
This is I think when he's a sophomore or freshman.
Cool. Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, oh, bro, you're probably not going to play. In my head, I'm thinking, who is this dude? You're probably not going to play at Alabama.
Yeah.
But just talking to him about being like a backup and everything else. And then when he hits us with like, be a fucking wolf, like when we went to one of the games, and I realized that this is the dude that I spoke to years ago and that he stuck around, I'm like, yo, this dude, I'm just a massive fan of Ty Simpson.
Right, because it's so easy to be just another person that wants to bounce from place to place and get as much money as possible.
Especially if he's a dude.
You're talking about his family. It's like clearly this kid was raised right.
You can tell that.
You've made a commitment. You're going to stay with this commitment regardless if things go your way or not, and it's gone his way.
Yeah, and when you hear the explanation, because I think what I'm careful to judge on is like, okay, let's understand the reasons, because a lot of guys that are even in our building now that have transferred, it was because they wanted a higher level of competition, or there was a coaching staff change. I made a commitment to go play for this coach and I was fine, So each situation has its unique narrative, but you were asking about the NIL thing. It is wild, man.
Yeah. How is it coaching these kids? And I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's like, we talked about like being critical of guys, and anytime like it seems like if you're critical of somebody, guys will just pick up their suitcase and be like, I'm gonna go to the next school that pays the most money. Now you're here contractually obligated to where it's like you can't just go and ask for a trade. Like you don't do that unless you're like a vet who's like earned the right, go walk up. And so now you got these cats that are probably in like year 2, year 3, and it's like, I'm not getting what the fuck I want, and I can't do shit about it. Like how has that been for you? Like identifying and like essentially changing a leadership style.
Identify guys, because I still think in the midst of all these other things that are going on, there's still some people that are about that life, that have that humility,
about that action,
and they're about like understanding, hardship and being able to, overcome some different things. And so we work really hard to try to identify, like our kinds of guys, like Coach Peterson calls them the OKGs, like our kind of guys. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you really try to identify and find through the vetting, through the background, through their journeys. And that's where I haven't felt it as much for our team, but then you get a chance to talk to, whether it's some of my buddies that are college coaches, the landscape of it, some college coaches that come here. And I'm like, man, that it's so exhausting thinking about that. And then now you get a pass to almost, say, hey, I'm not going to stick with this and I'm just going to run away. Yeah. Not every example, but a lot more excuses to do that.
It's just nuts to me, the talent pool that you would have in rounds like 4 to 7, where those guys where they could come out would just choosing to stay in school because
there was a whole thing this year on the draft where it's like, and this is like the media, but they're like after the first 50 picks, it was like everyone was kind of ready to go home.
Yeah, like I could have probably got drafted in this draft class,
buddy. You would have been
because guys would have went back to
top
school.
3 rounds.
You know what I mean? Guys would have went back to school.
You go back to school. I'm fucking
just
out
flying up boards.
Yeah, and you had 7 years.
Hey, there's nobody else out there.
You go through the COVID time. It's like you can kind of you be 30. I'm a rookie this year.
What's wild about that too is then you start talking about the amount of guys that are actually taking pay cuts. Now I'm becoming a professional. I mean, we're sitting there, Jimmy Lake, our DB's coach, we're talking, we got 4 undrafted rookies in the DB room, and, just casual conversation. What these guys were making last year, I mean, you're taking major pay cuts.
Yeah, right.
Some of these guys, especially with the
we
rookie
met a couple of
slot.
years.
Jeremiah Love being quoted as he doesn't have to touch his NFL contract money because of the NIL he made at Notre Dame.
It's amazing.
Just nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. The NIL is crazy. I would have never. I'm so happy I wasn't a part of the NIL era. Yeah. I would have died.
Do you think so?
Dude.
Well, the
human being you're looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, what's wild is that's what's crazy is because of the amount of money now these guys have access. All right, spring break, no more Fort Lauderdales or
cramming in hotel rooms.
I mean, hey, they're going to Miami. They're staying at the nicest places. They're going to the Bahamas. They're going to Cabo. I mean, so these guys have access to some stuff that can be problematic
indeed. Exactly. But they also have like breaks from like the month of May and June. Like they can just go and train wherever they want now.
Yeah.
To where, and when I was at Michigan, it was like you get 4 weeks off a year. It was like Christmas break,
and I'm sure
spring break,
you didn't
summer
get paid
break.
when you were at Michigan. I'm sure you didn't.
Hey, hand to God, The only thing I ever
I
got.
actually do believe you.
I
Yeah.
believe him too.
I
You
believe
can
you.
see- You can see the look in his eyes.
I would have told you by now.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The only thing I was at a restaurant and
Yeah.
I got a chicken sandwich and waffle fries, and I went to go pay the bill and like, don't worry about it. I thought, I'm fucking living out
There
here.
you go,
And then you hear
bro.
stories about Matthew Stafford.
But you know what? though?
Did you
Like,
hear the
what
story about his junior year?
No.
So he left his junior year. He was the first overall
Yeah,
pick.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know that.
Yep.
Apparently, allegedly,
Yeah.
there was a duffel bag of like $500,000 in his mailbox to stay.
Is that
And
right?
I've never spoke to him about
Has
it.
he said that story?
No, but other Georgia Bulldogs have told me
No,
that
but
story.
a friend had said.
Yeah, a friend,
you know,
a guy
yeah,
whose
yeah,
brother, he's
yeah.
really close with the family. He
Yeah.
said that.
Start off at 50K, now it's 500K.
Yeah, Ed Ogeron. We had Ed Ogeron on the podcast, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we used to go through the
Coach
back
Ed
door.
Eddie
Now we
O?
go, yeah.
Bro, it
Now
was
we go through the front door.
phenomenal.
I bet he was awesome. You know
Dude,
what's
the
great
stories
is
were incredible.
So when my wife and I, Veronica, got married, all right, we were supposed to get married, internet, COVID, all this stuff. We ended up getting married at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Okay. And, a lot of football people there, whatever. Well, Ed Ogeron was staying at the hotel at the time, so Peter Schrager, good buddy of mine, he,
Big dog.
he's a big dog.
Yeah.
Big boy, right?
Big boy. That's right. Big boy.
But he comes up to me, so a bunch of guys are at the pool. Eddie O's there. They're like, man, we didn't know you were boys with Eddie O. Eddie O's invited to the wedding. I'm like, he's the man. But no, Eddie O. But he was the celebrity at the wedding, man. But he is full of personality.
Bro,
I mean,
he's
that
Him crashing your
hilarious.
wedding is such an Eddie O thing to hear.
it's outstanding.
Dude, you
we had
sit there
Eddie
and
O and
listen.
Odell Beckham were the wedding crashers.
That's hilarious.
Odell did crash the wedding. Eddie O just happened to be the
Odell didn't get an invite?
Well, here's the thing. Where do you draw? So I love players.
No,
And that wasn't. No, I'm actually glad you asked so that I can give you a sound thought process. Because
Yeah.
man, there was a lot of thought that went into this. How do you really draw the line on your current players? So I just invited the captains from the previous year, and then there was former players or whatever. And I loved Odell. So he texted me the day of. And he's like, man, congratulations on the wedding. I'm like, thanks, man. Appreciate you. He's like, my invite must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, hey, would love to have you. But I basically, what I decided to do was just kind of invite the cat because there's no good way to draw the line.
Yeah.
And then I remember I saw Neil Elatrash, who I've gotten to be really close with Neil, and his daughters and my wife are friends. But Neil means a lot to me. I love Neil, and he comes up to me, and he and Odell have a relationship, and he's like, I think Odell might just show up. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I told him where the wedding was. I'm like, that'll be great, So Odell does show up. I tell my wife, and she always really liked, Odell's as charismatic and as fun. Showed up, his own bottle of tequila, pulls a seat right up. He's dancing. He was one of the major lights of the party. And so it was a well-welcomed wedding crasher. But hey, he had the courage to show up and say, I don't give a shit.
Win-win for everybody.
He was awesome, though. I still keep in touch with Odell. I love him.
Dude, I mean, I don't even know where to go with this, but just want to say again, Neil Elatrash is the man.
He is.
When I got my ACL redone, like I went over to his house.
Yeah.
We had dinner. We were sitting out there. We're talking to Andrew Whitwell. He's just the greatest guy.
And he
of all
welcomes
time.
you. That's the separator to me is like, he's obviously this amazing orthopedic surgeon, great hands, all this stuff. He's, all these patents on some different things that move some of these surgeries forward, accelerate the healing process. The bedside manner, the connection, like the confidence, like how much better did you probably feel about your recovery? That's a big deal.
Not just him, but his team as well. Like I went with his team, and they were all like the same, like working on whether it was flexion, extension, all the things, but like the way they went about the process just made you feel like there's 50 people in this room, everyone's getting worked on, but you feel like you're the only guy.
What a cool thing to say.
Yeah. And Neil, the way he walks into a room too, it feels like he's on one of those walking escalators. Like he's just poised, brother.
He's got a presence.
He comes in, he's got this
need to meet
calm
this Elatrash
confidence
guy.
about, dude.
Seems like he's just.
You
got
haven't
the
met him?
juice.
Oh,
I know,
he's
he's
the
OG.
fucking man, bro. He's a guy you be around. You're just like, how do we hang out more? I'll call him every once in a while. We'll just talk. I just I want to be around you, man.
Oh, and he's one of those guys.
He's a guy to have
too.
on the podcast.
He's got 3 daughters who he would do. You talk about a family man, but he's got 3 daughters that are awesome girls that he loves them so much, but never had a son. And so like the athletic connection that he makes and the care, like, I mean, you probably felt like, man, this is like a swaggy dad. Like, I mean,
And
he's cool, man.
He's
I
had
mean, he
success,
means a lot to
and
me.
you can tell like Neil really likes nice things. And he's like not showing it off, but he wants you to see what he's got. He's like, hey, come over to the house. It's like this beautiful Spanish style house on top of the hill, beautiful view. And he just kind of lets you back and lets you soak it all. And you're like, oh, you're the fucking man. You're the man out here. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about Neil. We should have him on the show.
He would come on.
Yeah, oh, he would for
He
sure
would absolutely come on.
Some of the stories.
Yeah.
He's all
We gotta
time.
talk about Max's knee.
He'd give you some clarity on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he would.
He'd ruin some HIPAA violations for sure. Should we get into some fan questions?
Yeah, we
Oh,
probably get
boy.
into a couple. We've went over our.
We've gone
a
way
lot of
over.
time.
Yeah,
What
we
time
know
we
it's
got?
9:12.
We went
Okay.
over.
We've gone
You
over.
know what? I can't. That's how you know it's been a good hour and a half.
Yeah, I'll give you one
Appreciate
from a
y'all.
distance. This one comes from Dylan_McDonald_TX. Does he put his headset on and then do his hair? What's your process of doing your hair and putting the
Oh,
headset
hair
on?
first, headset later.
That thing.
Sturdy.
I'll tell you what. Someone fell from a building. They're getting impaled by that.
They
huh?
are.
Yeah,
They are
you
getting
keep that thing
impaled.
high and
Hey,
tight.
the gel is a sturdy hold.
Yeah.
What's the gel? Do you want to shout out the brand?
Baxter.
Now,
Shout out Baxter.
is this a deal where they just give you unlimited lifetime?
You know what? Maybe now they will.
You know what I've heard?
You need to be
I
in their
hope so.
commercial.
I've
Baxter.
heard.
All right. I'm really glad that we got the new gel back. That I had been using the pink. It's kind of this semi hold or whatever, but it looks like a sturdy hold. Come see me. All right. I know you're going to see on these guys. Baxter, I need that free product.
There we go.
I've actually heard that. Was it Campbell's chicken noodle soup?
Yeah.
It helps with hair hold. I've heard that actually. So
There
something
you
to think
go.
about. 17 grams of protein.
This one's from Jake Christensen, 920. How do you build a call sheet from week to week?
I mean, it's a good question, but really by the way that we segment the game plan. So easiest way that I can answer that question without being too long-winded, early downs, like your normal down and distances and your get back on tracks, which is your first and second downs in the normal field. That's what we're introducing to the players on Wednesday, putting together Tuesday. On Thursday, your third down, fourth downs in the normal field. You're doing that kind of stuff, introducing that to the players. Your red area stuff on Friday. But situationally, the main situations that come up, normal down and distance, get back on track, your third and fourth down calls, your red area calls, and then if you're backed up or 2 minute or in some of those 4 minute situations where you want to ice the game. So segment it by that. And you try to, I think we've been better about being able to do that, but by situation, no different than you know the answer to that.
Yeah. But
Maybe Jake Christensen didn't though.
Yeah. Jay Christian, he wanted to know.
That's
How does
right.
McVay break it down?
This comes from at SGT Scuba 22. Having coached established future Hall of Famers like Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald, what is the key to holding young players to the same professional standard?
Well, I think the first part is having those guys, because I remember my grandpa said this, getting a chance, he was the 49ers GM for a handful of years. He was a part of all 5 championships that they won. And I was asking him, how did you guys sustain a certain level? And there was a lot of things, but one of the consistent themes that came up were, our best players, our leaders were the examples. So then that was what the standard became. If Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, if this is how they go about their business, then what does it look like, for these younger guys to come in? That's what's been really cool. From the very jump, you're talking about the Whitworths of the world, the Aaron Donalds, Higbee, us being together 10 years, Matthew Stafford, Goff, like all those guys, Gurley's, they modeled the way. And that means now if that's what they look like, then everybody kind of falls in line. And so I think it's super important to make sure the people that you knight or that you put in those leadership positions are showing more than anything that they can say.
Dude, Todd Gurley. Just
Was
bringing
he
up
such
him.
a G or what?
Dude,
He
he
was
was awesome.
Hey,
Incredible.
how
I got to-
about the
I got to train with one
17
of his
game when we
teammates.
played you guys?
Oh, yeah, and you guys
he
took that
takes the
screen back.
screen.
I
Hey,
know,
and
bro.
I mean, ran away from Adoree Jackson who could roll. And this is a guy that was getting a high volume amount of carries. He was unbelievable.
It was a game up until that point.
It was a close game. Man, you guys were getting after us,
I
man.
know,
Those
dude.
RPOs versus
Physicality.
man. Mary
Was it
had a
Robert
punt.
Quinn?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that fucking arm over move.
Oh, dude, he had
he was
double
so
swiping
incredible.
arm over. AD got that from him.
Yeah.
He was his body lean. He was an unbelievable wrestler
he was
too.
so-
Robert Quinn was,
And you could tell he was like
problem.
so the way he went about his moves, like he knew exactly where he was on the field in relationship to the quarterback based on the steps he was taking.
Yep.
So much so it's like I almost don't know where I'm at based on the way he's moving.
It was
impressive.
And there were those great ones. I think they never give you a relief down.
Yeah.
Like you were working
And
every
dude, he was
snap
even
against
when he
him.
was at Miami for a year too. We had a game. We played in Miami, and there was like this. It was the longest game in NFL history because there's like thunderstorms or whatever. So
Yeah.
there was this massive break, but there's like a minute 30 left in the half, and I'm on 2 minutes, and that's like
Yeah.
the stress point for an offensive lineman
Oh,
is 2 minutes.
yes.
So I'm like in the locker room, shoulder pads off, being like, the minute I get back on the field, I got Quinn.
Yeah.
And I have to go through this 2 minute first play. He hits that long short edge. Luckily, we got the ball up, but I'm like, this motherfucker, dude. He was impressive.
He was awesome.
Really, really impressive. But Gurley hitting that screen, dude.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
brutal was it with Gurley when the knee stuff was happening?
Man,
Because he was like the biggest contract or something at the time,
Bro,
right?
his
was awesome.
his flame burned so bright for those, like 2-3 years.
He was
Yeah,
incredible.
he
You
kinda
look
reset the
at it,
market and
like
then-
he reset the market, but like he was so smart and so explosive, had such a good understanding. The game came natural, but he worked at it. But he was incredible. And and the cool thing is like never even acknowledged it. The knee wouldn't even really like acknowledge it. But he was, man, it was really cool. We had some fun, and it was a blessing to coach him.
Dude, he was a monster. We have one here from Clump's friend Sean, who was a diehard Rams fan.
Nice.
From one correctly spelled Sean to another.
S-E-A-N.
You've coached teams with stars, rookies, and constant turnover. What's one non-negotiable standard you insist on every year, no matter who's in the building?
Oh, that's a great one. One non-negotiable standard is really, I think it's about being a good teammate. Like in the I don't know that there's any one non-negotiable as much as there is like an expectation of like, hey man, you come in here, we are going to be mindful of. I love the different personalities that everybody has, but there's a couple things that we're going to be consistent on what we expect. We expect you to work. And this isn't one, but I'll give you a quick. We expect you to work. We expect you to have enjoyment for how we go about it, enjoyment of others' success. We expect you to have the right mindset, like being your best regardless of the circumstances. And I expect you to bring the right kind of energy that's authentic to you, on as consistent of a basis as possible. Those are the kind of things, but it's like really like you're either making situations better or you're not. And we expect everybody to elevate the space that they're in with their vibe and the way that they go about stuff, and not perfection, but like consistency in that.
You know what we could use right now?
A Bud Light.
Ice cold.
Yeah, I know it's early, but
Yeah.
still.
It's 5
Yeah.
o'clock
Bud Light.
somewhere.
Do you want to ask him the Bud Light question?
Coach McVay,
Yes.
you know how people would do anything for an ice cold Bud Light. What is something that you would do anything for?
Can't say family.
Can't say family.
Can't say family.
So,
Like, what-
so outside of family stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Brock Bowers on the show, and he goes, "I'd do anything for a good steak, dinner."
We've had people say national championships, Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
You've been the youngest head coach hired, touched
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Man, when you take the family out of it, I'll tell you what, I would do anything to continue to be, this is cheesy, but I really mean this, like to consistently be the person I want to be to help us come together as great as we can to go do some special shit this coming season.
Oh, God, that's cheese.
Cheesy, I know.
It's cheesy, but it's kind of nice.
As
It is
Napoleon
nice.
Dynamite.
Always be the guy you want to be. You do anything to always be the guy of your standard.
Here's what I would do. I would do anything
Okay.
to take back my behavior on draft night.
Jared, clip it.
I'm back, bitch.
God, that's beautiful.
What a pod, man.
Dude,
This
this
was
was
fun,
awesome.
man.
You
For
were
real, I
incredible.
appreciate you guys having me on.
Bro, like, it is crazy
Yeah.
what you've done.
Same with you
Because
guys.
when you got hired,
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like me, you, and KO went and ate at Matchbox down in One Loud.
That's right.
Because you ended up
That was
getting
cool.
hired, and you weren't expecting to
No.
get hired in the cycle. Because I want to say maybe the week before when you were out like doing your visits or out here,
Yeah.
I remember sitting with Coach Phillips, Wes Phillips, and it's like, man, I don't think they're letting him leave the building because you crushed the interview.
Yeah.
And again, like you're getting like Coach Shieldhouse, he was starting to get in the head coaching talks and conversations. Like anybody who's trying to be a head coach, usually they get in the cycle first
exactly
and do interviews. And then eventually a year or two down the road, the hiring happens.
It's true.
Like knowing that once your name first got in the hat and the Rams were floored and wouldn't let you leave the building.
Yeah.
Then knowing that lunch we were having and you're talking about leaving and you kind of weren't expecting it. It's just, dude, it's so impressive to see what you've done. And clearly through this conversation, like how you've grown through your adversities.
Yeah.
But dude, it's been badass to watch.
No,
bro.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. That those memories, and even just sitting down, it's a lot of cool things that are cycling about, our relationship, and just the appreciation for the people that help you become who you want to be. And I feel the same way about you guys, and it's awesome to be able to spend some time together, because heard so many great things, watched from afar, but man, I've appreciated this.
It's cool to see how the three of us go so far back, man.
Yeah.
It's nice, right?
How it all connects.
Look at us.
It is. It's all. Hey, who would have thought? Not me.
Not me. Not me.
Dude, you're the best, bro. Comment, big hugs, tiny kisses. Shout out, Coach McVay.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
Dude,
that was cool.
That was awesome.
No, seriously, that was great.